ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Another game, another homer. Aaron Judge continues to look like Superman in the Steel City. Today, Marcus Stroman gets the ball for his second start of the year, and he could pitch the Bombers to a series win as the New York Yankees take on the Pittsburgh Pirates on a Saturday afternoon at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And no sad sax music yet, but we are watching the weather in Pittsburgh. It's warm and windy and humid, so there's a chance of thunderstorms. However, there is a window. And let's get through that window into some baseball. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. I'm Chris Sheeran. And so far, most of the thunder, as we all know this season, has come off the Bombers' bats. 9 more runs, and that homer from Judge continue this historically good start to the season for the offense, and it's led to 5 wins in the first 7 games. About those hitters, they have 23 homers, most in the Major League history through the first 7 games of a season, and at worst, they'll leave today tied for the most through 8 games. They're batting .288. That's the best start by a Yankees team since 2007. And add up Judge, Jazz, and Volpe, and they have more homers than, get this, 27 teams. Judge alone has 6 home runs, an otherworldly start for the reigning MVP. And last season, he didn't hit his 6th home run until his 29th game. This gives him 321 home runs for his career. That's exactly as many as Babe Ruth had in his first 1,000 games with the Yankees. Judge's 6 homers this season are as many as the Pirates have in more than 7 teams. Asked Saturday whether he thinks Judge is a Hall of Famer, Aaron Boone answered with an emphatic yes, and that it was a no-brainer. Judge now has those 321 homers in his career, by far the most for any player through his first 1,000 games. Ryan Howard is a distant second, 42 behind at 279. And Judge actually passed him way back in his 901st game. After the game, as he always is, the captain was focused on the rest of his teammates.
It was impressive. Like you said, this was, you want to start right at the bottom with Cabrera. The game he had for us, just 4 RBIs, hitting the ball over the field, taking good at-bats. When you have a chance to have a guy like that down there that can turn the lineup over and get it to Benny and me and Jazz, it makes for a long night for a starting pitcher. That's how we're able to wear down so many pitchers.
Today was your 1,000th Major League Baseball game. You hit a home run in this one. Aaron Boone was just asked about your career so far, and he said, no doubt, going to be a Hall of Famer. Just what's your reaction to hearing your manager say that?
It's great praise, but I live in the present. We got things to do. Got a lot of work to do, so we'll talk about that in a couple of years.
You at all worried at that play? He ran into the wall there. Aaron said he had held his breath, but you're totally good on that?
Yeah, we're good. That's just a bad read on me. They got a bigger warning track, so I thought I was right by the wall, but I got to make that look a little more graceful next time.
Have you ever thought about that? Being a Hall of Famer, is that a goal that's present of mind for you?
Right now, no, because I'm worried about the game we just had. It's something we'll talk about down the road.
Judge has never faced today's Pirates starter. That's lefty Bailey Falter, who was solid in his outing against Miami when he allowed 2 runs in 6 innings, though he did give up 7 hits. For the Yankees, Marcus Stroman gets the ball for his second start. He's coming off a no decision. Stroman came 1 out shy of qualifying for the win in that start, working into the 5th inning against Milwaukee and allowing 3 runs. Most of the damage came on 1 swing, a 2-run homer by Jake Bowers. He walked 1 and struck out 3. Last season, Stroman was at his best when he was on the road, posting an ERA just above 3. He went 5-2 outside the Bronx, while the Yankees were 11-3 in his road starts. He also has a .275 career ERA against the Pirates. Against the Brewers, we saw the usual Stroh show. He threw 6 different pitches, most of them sinkers and slurves. And he had a good sinker working. Milwaukee was 1 for 8 against it with a strikeout. Today, he faces a Pirates team that has the 2nd worst slugging percentage in the National League. Yesterday, Ben Rice found himself in the leadoff spot and delivered working 2 walks and knocking a single. Rice has now reached base safely in 12 of his 25 trips to the plate, continuing to build off his impressive play in spring training. And earlier, Aaron Boone was asked about the sophomore slugger.
Zone control and how hard he's hitting the ball. I mean, just, he's killing the ball. I mean, Kutch made an unbelievable play on him last night, or, you know, he's got another extra base hit and a couple more ribbies. Just at-bat quality, and then just how hard he's hitting the ball consistently.
He was doing that in the spring. Were you kind of curious to see how it would carry over into the season?
I mean, I think it's who he is. I think he's a real hitter. I mean, look, I'd even add last year to it. I know he had some struggles there, but we saw a lot of good in there too, and the ability to hit the ball with authority. And I think that's only grown, obviously, with how much he's grown physically and just gaining from that experience. And I just feel like he's a high quality at bat right now.
He had mentioned to me several times throughout the course of the spring, and even, you know, for series, he feels so much more comfortable, more aware of the surroundings. And have you noticed that? Does he look more comfortable to you?
Yeah, I think so. And I know I've even had, you know, some of our coaches say, man, he's just got so much confidence. You know, understandably. I mean, I'm hitting the ball like that, I'd probably feel pretty confident walking up there too. But I definitely think his confidence and his comfort has taken another step too, which is important, obviously.
He's clearly.
I'm sorry.
He's clearly put on a little bit more muscle mass. How much do you think that plays into the success?
Yeah, I think that's one of the important factors in this. Like, he is significantly stronger. And I think that's adding to it, absolutely.
The struggles last year, did they happen because the league adjusted to them, or was it just natural progression and you're going to struggle?
Yeah, I think both. Look, I think even through some of his struggles, like, there was some underlying stuff that said he probably wasn't struggling as much as he was. Like, I mean, he was still squaring balls up, you know, periodically. You know, the punches went up for him a little bit in that, you know, last, you know, 50, 80, 100 at bats, but he was still hitting the ball hard. So I think that's partly adjusting and just partly being a young player and finding your way a little bit.
We are just getting started here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. We'll be back in a flash with Flash. I'll show myself out. John Flaherty joins the show to talk Judge, Austin Wells, and more next. Yankees batting practice today is presented by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today. Chris Sheeran back here on Yankees batting practice today, and as promised before the break, John Flaherty joins us to talk a little Yankees baseball, and we're going to start with the gavel. Aaron Judge, what a start to the season he's had, Flash. 6 home runs, 17 RBI. He didn't hit those 2 numbers until the 29th game last season. And last season we all wondered, what if he didn't get off to that slow start? It was that what might have been sense, but we may be seeing that this season.
Yeah, Chris, it really is remarkable. And I was curious to see how Aaron would get off at the beginning of the year, because he did not have a good spring training. And I know spring training doesn't mean anything for an MVP like Aaron Judge. But as a hitter, as a player, you want to leave spring with a little bit of confidence. And he got himself a base hit on opening day, and then he's been on a tear ever since. You mentioned the 6 home runs. And I watch him right now, Chris, and I sit up in the booth, and I put my old catcher's mask on, and I try to figure out, how would I pitch this guy? How would I try to get him out? He doesn't have a weakness right now. If you make perfect pitches, you're going to be able to get him out. But we saw last night with Tim Meza, if you make a mistake out over the plate, he'll beat you to any field.
We just saw that graphic there in MLB history. The 321 homers through the first 1,000 games is 42 more than the guy in second, Ryan Howard. But I thought this was even cooler. The first 1,000 games as a New York Yankee, Judge has tied Babe Ruth with those same numbers, 321. We hear his name among so many baseball greats throughout the history of the game, Flash. It just keeps getting better and better and better every season.
Yeah, and Michael and I talked about it last night on the broadcast. Are we watching the modern-day Babe Ruth because of the numbers that you just detailed? And, you know, I think all of us around this team, around this organization, Yankee fans, are we taking this guy for granted? He's making it look so easy. And, you know, I talked to Aaron Boone about it yesterday, and you almost become numb to it. Like he hits a home run to right center field, no big deal, just kind of flipped it out there. So I think we need to appreciate it. Obviously, we do, but he makes it look so easy, and all of us know that it's not as easy as he's making it look right now.
All right, Flash, let's get to your former position, catcher. In 1995, that was your first full season, and that led to your best offensive season in 1996. It's about confidence. It's something Austin Wells talked about. How much is it confidence when you get that first year under your belt like he did last season with the Yankees?
Yeah, Chris, there's no doubt that rookie year is overwhelming for so many different reasons. You know, the travel, all the ballparks on the road, the grind of going through 162, the physical demands of being a catcher. But I think more importantly for me, it was the mental part, the mental grind, dealing with the pitching staff, you know, going 0 for 4 at the plate, not taking that out on the field defensively. So I thought Austin Wells coming back to spring training this year, it's kind of like you graduate. You get through your rookie season. Now he gets to establish himself as a #1 guy in the big leagues who's already played in a World Series. There aren't too many young catchers who can say that. So I think the sky's the limit for him this year, not only at the plate, but his leadership behind the plate defensively.
Yeah, and Garrett Cole and Clark Schmidt, they've talked about how good he is behind the plate. How long does it take to build relationships with a staff when you're a new catcher, and what are some of the things that go into that?
Well, Chris, I think the most important thing is you can catch a pitcher on the side. You can catch his bullpen in spring training, even a spring training game. It's a lot different when you get out between the lines when it matters for these guys, and they're going to react differently during a regular season, a postseason start. So for Austin, it's really just getting the reps with somebody new like Max Fried last night. How does he react? What pitch does he want to go to when he gets in trouble in a big spot when the game's on the line? These are all things that you just get more reps, you get more comfortable. And then obviously being around the league, you start to get a feel for the opposing hitters and how you want to game plan day in and day out. But I'm sure somebody like Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, when they see Austin Wells doing his homework, getting ready for a game plan, that's where you gain the respect from a young player. If he's prepared, if he goes out there with a game plan, there's going to be a nice connection and a nice chemistry between a pitcher and a catcher.
Flash, we always appreciate the time here on BPTV. We look forward to the call with you and Michael in just a short while. Thank you so much.
You got it, Chris. Talk to you soon.
Let's step aside again on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Still ahead, more from Pittsburgh as we get you ready for the Game 2 of this series. Stick around. You're watching BPTV. We're back. Adam Frazier leads off, and he's done well against Marcus Stroman in his career. 385 batting average in 13 at-bats. Then it's Brian Reynolds, who hit his first home run of the season yesterday, his 5th in 10 games against the Yankees. And for the Yankees, back-to-back days off for Cody Bellinger, who did take swings in the cage today. Paul Goldschmidt leads off again. He had 2 hits yesterday to continue his dominance of the Pirates. He has a .308 average with 23 homers and an OPS over 900 against him in his career. With a lefty on the mound, Oswald Peraza plays 3rd and bats 8th. This will be Peraza's first start of the season. Otherwise, it's been Oswaldo Cabrera who's taken hold of the Yankees' third base job. Cabrera has started 6 of the first 7 games at the hot corner, and yesterday was his best game yet. Batting ninth, Cabrera went 3 for 4 and drove in 4 runs. He lined a 2-run single in the second inning and hustled into second when O'Neill Cruz booted the ball in center. Then in the third, another ribby single through the left side of the infield. Came up with the bases loaded in the fourth, and he worked a walk, then knocked his third hit of the day in the seventh. Yankees 6 through 9 hitters reached in 14 of 20 plate appearances. Cabrera's final line again, 3 for 4 with 4 runs batted in and a walk. It was his first game with at least 3 hits in more than a year. He became the Yankees' first number 9 hitter with 3 hits and 4 ribbies since Kyle Higashioka did it in September of 2020. Cabrera chatted with Meredith Marakovitz on the field after the game.
You see our guys working every time. You see they have the focus, they have the confidence right now on it, so it's just to keep rolling.
Great afternoon and early evening for you. 3 for 4, 4 RBI. You were feeling it. What was working for you up there at the plate? What clicked?
I'm every time working over there, so I'm trying to get better every time. I think the last couple games wasn't in the way that I want, so I just come back to keep working on it and just try to find my way.
Were there any specific adjustments that you made?
Just focusing the things that I have to do, just try to do less, think less, and try to be myself.
When you look at the 6 through 9 hitters today, 9 for 15 with 7 RBI, how much pride do you guys take in that?
I'm so proud of my boys. I know they are working so hard for being this spot right now, so I think see our guys doing those type of things make me feel so proud of them.
We mentioned Paul Goldschmidt has good numbers against the Pirates, but truth is, he's been pretty great against everyone. 363 homers, a career OPS near 900, 7 All-Stars, 5 Silver Sluggers, and an MVP award in 2022. Now that pedigree is in pinstripes.
Goldschmidt swings at the first pitch. Track. Wall. See ya. There's a leadoff hitter. 1-0 Yanks.
Paul Goldschmidt, played against him for a long time. You know, he's a true pro, and he's a very good baseball player.
First time he's led off a game in his long career. Well, he led it off with a home run, too. Really got things going early.
Yeah, I think he's potentially a future Hall of Famer. I mean, this guy's been a dominant player in our league for a long time.
A beautiful backhand scoop by Goldschmidt.
A great two-way player, runs the bases incredibly well. I think he's going to be a key cog in our lineup this year.
That one is looped into right center, and it's an RBI single for Goldschmidt.
You look at Goldie's career and what he's been able to do in this game, it's so impressive. He's a professional player. He's going to give you a professional at bat.
It's a great way to drive in a run. Pulls his hands in and just pushes it the other way.
He's going to help your entire team. I mean, he's going to help us offensively and defensively and help get us to where we want to be.
And another hit for Paul Goldschmidt.
Goldie is locked in, jacked, and amazing to learn from.
That one is lofted down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Goldschmidt gets himself a double. Quite a day for Goldschmidt.
I've just always tried to remain open and knowing that I need to get better every year, and I think that's been great. For me, it's just trying to find that balance, knowing what works for me, but also adapting. The game has changed a lot. So many coaches and also different tools out there that have really helped me improve and adapt, and we'll just continue to do that for as long as I can play.
This guy fits the New York Yankees. He goes about his business like a pro, obviously has plenty of power. I love the way he drives the ball to right field. I think Yankee Stadium is going to be a nice place for him to hit.
You know, the back of the baseball card for him doesn't lie, and the human being that he is and the reputation he's created for himself around the league is phenomenal. So really looking forward to him, and I think it's going to really help us.
Base hit. Goldschmidt leads off with a single.
I think even just putting on the Yankees uniform is a huge honor. There's been so many great players and great teams, and to get this opportunity is great. I think the goal is obviously to show up and play hard and prepare and try to win and just carry on this tradition. I feel like there's such high expectations with this organization. That's really exciting. It's what I wanted. It's what the guys in the clubhouse want.
At first base, number 48.
Paul Goldschmidt.
We want to do it at the highest level and live up to the expectations that were set before us.
One last break on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. We'll be back to wrap things up. Some things, other things to watch out for, so keep it here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Today's injury report is brought to you by of the New York Yankees. First official rehab start is in the books for Clark Schmidt. He struck out 7 and allowed just a walk and a double in 3 1/3 innings at Double-A. Earlier, Aaron Boone said Schmidt is slated for one more rehab outing. We've already given you a lot of numbers about this Bombers offense, but as we wrap things up, here's one more. The Yankees have 23 home runs this season. The Pirates, they have 23 runs, period. Some other things to watch out for, and these are our keys to the game brought to you by your local Kia dealers. 62 runs for the Yanks. That's second most in franchise history through 7 games. And Ben Rice has been a big part of it. For the Pirates, their 20 stolen bases lead the majors, and there are those career numbers against the Yankees for Brian Reynolds and OPS over 1,200. That's going to do it for this edition of Yankees Batting Practice today, presented by Audi. Coming up next, it's the pregame with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry here in studio. And Meredith Marakovich checking in from Pittsburgh. For the rest of the BP crew, I'm Chris Sheeran. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Celebrating for Aaron Judge and the Yankees. The captain capping his 1,000th game with a homer, and his team making it 5 wins in the first 7 games of the season. They can capture another series today as the New York Yankees take on the Pittsburgh Pirates on a Saturday afternoon at PNC Park in Pennsylvania. We're glad you're with us on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Middle game of this 3-game series. Yankees win it last night. As we get your Hyundai opening comment, did you hear Aaron Judge hit a home run last night? Were you aware of that?
He hits a home run on a lot of the nights that we're covering games, and a lot of nights when Yankee fans tune in or go to Yankee Stadium to watch him play. And that's why, Bob, whenever we have these opening comments, very often we tilt towards the starting pitchers. Tonight, this afternoon, it'll be Stroman against Falter. Today seems like an appropriate time to talk about the power and the passion of Aaron Judge. You mentioned it. He's played 1,000 games now in his career, but how about the start he's off to this season? In his first 7 games, he's got 6 homers and 17 runs batted in, something that no hitter has ever done in Major League history, matching those 2 statistical categories. So we watch Judge every day. We watch his greatness. We watch how remarkable he is. He just continues to go out there and do it every day. His career is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. As Aaron Boone said last night when he was asked about that, it's a no-brainer that this guy will be in Cooperstown one day.
All right, we'll talk more about Judge coming up. Right now, let's get it out to Pittsburgh. Meredith Marakovich standing by with the Clubhouse Report presented by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, certainly hoping to see some good at-bats by the Yankees and Aaron Judge again today like last night, and hoping that the weather does not put a damper on those at-bats.
Bob, I am in the booth, but it's more because I wanted you to get a look at one of the best views in baseball. Actually, the tarp was on the field earlier today. It was raining a little bit, but the grounds crew pulled it about 10 minutes ago. It looks like this is going to start on time, and I'm very optimistic that you are not going to hear any sad saxophone music on the Yes Network today, so we will keep our fingers crossed. Now, Jack, you were already talking about Aaron Judge and his greatness, but this Yankees offense as a whole has really been rolling. 23 home runs to start the season. That is the most in Major League Baseball history through 7 games. Not to mention they have managed 62 runs scored, 35 extra base hits, and it is no coincidence that the man that is in the middle of all of it is Aaron Judge. Jack, you noted the home runs throughout the first 7 games. 6 home runs, 17 RBIs. Those contributions from the captains had his teammates singing praises post-game yesterday.
He's the best. It's no more words than that. He is the GOAT. He's the best. He's one of the best player ever, and not just because of player. He is one of the best person that everybody met. I'm right, Meredith. He's one of the best person that we met. So he deserves everything that happened to him.
It's incredible. You know, just game in, game out, just what he's able to do, be able to change a game with one swing at any moment. And, on top of that, making some really, really nice plays tonight, too, out in the outfield. So, I said it before, but, I'm really happy that I'm on his team now.
Doing all right, kid. Keep it up.
1,000 games, almost a 10-year career. Yeah. Is he a Hall of Famer for you? Yes. Quickly, what is?
I think he's, this generation's one of the greatest players, and I think it's no-brainer.
Like I always say, try to stay present, try to not think in the future, but thinking about Yogi, yes.
That's great praise, but I live in the present. We got things to do. Got a lot of work to do, so we'll talk about that in a couple of years.
Thought about that? Being a Hall of Famer, is that a goal that's present of mind for you?
Right now, no, because I'm worried about the game we just had. It's something we'll talk about down the road.
And Bob and Jack, the verdict is out. Aaron Judge still very good at baseball, and while he has a new accessory in that gavel that he's been wearing around his neck, he told us it was a gift. Same old Aaron Judge as far as production is concerned. Now, as I noted yesterday, the Yankees are not going to face Paul Skeens in this series, but I did have an opportunity to catch up with Pittsburgh's starting pitcher today to ask him if there was any part of him that wishes he was pitching and he was going to be able to try to attack Aaron Judge, and he said, yeah, of course, but we're going to be around this sport for a very long time. He said he'll likely see him at the All-Star game in July, and they'll have enough times throughout the course of both of their careers to face him. I then asked him if he sits in the dugout on that top rail and kind of imagines how he would try to attack Judge and how he would try to get him out, and he just looked at me and smiled and said, of course, what else would I be doing? That's the only thing to do when he's in the batter's box. Perhaps a matchup we will see in the future. As far as the Yankees lineup is concerned today, no Cody Bellinger for the second consecutive game. He was at his locker today. He said he's feeling a little bit better. The back stiffness is something that he has dealt with in the past, and he wanted to get ahead of it. He did go into the cage, took about 30 to 40 swings, said he felt good thereafter. Probably could have played today, but the Yankees, again, deciding to be cautious. Aaron Boone said he believes he will be available off the bench. So with no Cody Bellinger in that lineup, it's going to be Trent Grisham in center field again. Grisham off to a great start offensively. Another guy that is off to a solid start is Ben Rice. He is batting second and DHing, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs on the season. Small sample size, guys, but batting .350 so far. Earlier, Aaron Boone was asked what he thinks the solid start to the season is about with Ben Rice, how he's got himself there through the work in the offseason.
I'd say just zone control and how hard he's hitting the ball. He's killing the ball. Touch made an unbelievable play on him last night, or he's got another extra base hit and a couple more ribbies. Just at bat quality, and then just how hard he's hitting the ball consistently. I think he's a real hitter. Look, I'd even add last year to it. I know he had some struggles there, but we saw a lot of good in there too, and the ability to hit the ball with authority. And I think that's only grown, obviously, with how much he's grown physically and just gaining from that experience. And I just feel like he's a high quality at bat right now.
He had mentioned to me several times throughout the course of the spring, and even for series, he feels so much more comfortable, more aware of the surroundings. And have you noticed that? Does he look more comfortable to you?
Yeah, I think so. And I know I've even had some of our coaches say, man, he's just got so much confidence. Understandably. I'm hitting the ball like that. I'd probably feel pretty confident walking up there too. But I definitely think his confidence and his comfort has taken another step too, which is important, obviously.
He's clearly put on a little bit more muscle mass. How much do you think that plays into the success?
Yeah, I think that's one of the important factors in this. Like, he is significantly stronger, and I think that's adding to it, absolutely.
And while Ben Rice is DHing today, he also provides the Yankees some versatility. We saw him at first base the other day, and he is by trade a catcher. Aaron Boone said probably not comfortable putting him in for a full 9 right now, but he continues to work on that craft behind the scenes. In fact, today he had full catching gear on. He went out to catch some bullpens just to make sure, if needed, they can put him in there, and he's comfortable with all the pitchers on this staff. Speaking of pitchers, it is time for the Morgan & Morgan injury report, and that brings us to Clark Schmidt. He made his first rehab appearance with the Somerset Patriots. Solid outing for Clark Schmidt. 3 innings pitched, allowed just 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 7 in the process, threw 52 pitches, 37 for strikes. The next step for him will be 1 more rehab start. If all goes well, he will join the Yankees rotation. Now, I know what you're thinking, Bob and Jack. What does that mean for the Yankees rotation when Clark Schmidt comes back? Aaron Boone said he's not even thinking about that yet. He's going to wait until he is ready to start talking about and discussing what that means for the Yankees rotation, but they will have to make a move when Schmidt comes back, so you have to wonder who is going to be the odd man out in that case. One thing we do know for sure, it's going to be Marcus Stroman on the mound this afternoon, and it is going to be Michael Kay and John Flaherty in the booth. Bob, they have been patiently waiting for me to finish this report so they can get back to their pregame prep here in the booth. Here's Michael right here.
Are they good? Are they giving you? Well, you can't miss that noggin, can you?
I'm going to tell him you said that because he can't hear that right now.
Do.
Oh, he's not going to like it, Bob.
It's filling up the frame. It's a long face, he tells us all the time. Anyway, Meredith, have a great day. Say hi to the guys, and we'll see you in just a bit. Now, all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride, and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. It is only the 8th game of the season, and we might be running out of superlatives for Aaron Judge already. Coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we're going to break down his historic career and this historic start, so keep it right here.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
For Aaron Judge, it's 321 home runs in his first 1,000 games. In Babe Ruth's first 1,000 games with the Yankees, he also had 321 homers. Since RBIs became official in 1920, Judge is the only player ever to have at least 6 homers, 2 doubles, 17 runs batted in, 12 runs, and 2 stolen bases in a 7-game span. And Judge has as many home runs as the entire Pirates team this year. We talked about it last night because it was brought up to Aaron Boone, and we saw it with the conversation with Meredith in the media. You've said he is on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and you have a vote. You will be either marking that box or not marking that box sometime in the future.
Yeah, I think it's a given that I would be marking that box because of just how dominant Judge has been so far in his career. Now, Aaron Judge would put up a stop sign or a timeout and say, wait a second, I've got a lot more of my career left than he does. He is simply going to add to those glossy numbers that he has always put up. But it has been a remarkable run for him so far. I love that Babe Ruth comparison that we've talked about. 321 homers in 1,000 games for each of them, their first 1,000 games with the Yankees. It's uncanny that he has matched what Ruth has done. And, Bob, last year I had a friend from St. Kitts named Yanu going to his first Yankee game, and my advice to him was watch number 99. And I think I gave the young man very good advice.
Oh, that's perfect. Now, he's going to watch it. If he's watching today, he's going to watch him bat again. And what's amazing is to get to the Hall of Fame, you have to check a lot of boxes. One of the boxes that he's checking this year is not getting off to a slow start. He was still an MVP last year, but he got off to a slow start. He's already knocked that one off his list. 6
home runs in the first 7 games. We've detailed that. Last year, he didn't hit his 6th home run until the 29th game of the season, Bob. So we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but of course we do. With the strong start that he's having this year, what kind of home run numbers will Aaron Judge end up putting up? He had 6 in his first 29 games last year. He still ended up hitting 58 home runs. Now, if you're the opposing team, whether it's Falter or whoever faces him today, you're saying to yourself, how do I get Aaron Judge out? I reached out to our buddy, Buck Showalter, 4-time manager of the year. I said, how would you pitch to Aaron Judge? And his response, he said they need to find a torpedo baseball. That might be the only way you can get Aaron Judge out these days.
He is a tough out. And let's take a look at the Yankees lineup and where he factors in for this afternoon's game. It's courtesy of Toyota. He's batting third. He's in right field behind leadoff hitter Paul Goldschmidt and Ben Rice. Again, no Cody Bellinger. So Jazz Chisholm Jr., Anthony Volpe, Wells, Dominguez, Peraza is at third base today, and then Trent Grisham in center field. And one of the conversations in the offseason is you need to get production out of the acquisitions, Goldschmidt and Bellinger, back of the baseball card, that sort of thing, but also the young guys. And we're seeing that so far. Wells, Volpe, and Ben Rice certainly yesterday.
Ben Rice has really stood out with his ability to get on base, Bob, but also to hit the baseball at a very hard and a very robust rate. You look at what Rice has been able to do this year. Last year, his exit velocity, it was around league average. It was 90 miles per hour. So far this year, he's hitting baseballs at 100 miles an hour, which is tied for the major league lead with Suarez, who the Yankees just saw from the Diamondbacks. We saw this in spring training. In spring training, he hit about a half a dozen baseballs between 111 and 116 miles an hour, and it was just so clear how the ball was jumping off his bat. Yes, he added weight. It was the extra muscle that I think is helping him out, but I also just think, as Meredith detailed in her report and the conversation with Aaron Boone, he just looks more comfortable. It's year 2. You're not a freshman anymore. You're a sophomore. You feel as if you know the hallways around the high school. Rice looks like he knows his way around a baseball field.
Let's talk about the challenge of lefty Bailey Falter today. Had a good first outing against the Marlins, 6 innings and just 2 runs allowed.
Yeah, I look at this Yankee lineup, and I'm not sure that when Skeens is not pitching, that the Pirates have a lot to be able to get the Yankees out. Falter did pitch well in his debut this year, as you said, but he ended last season with a struggle. His last 15 appearances, an ERA of over 5. I think the Yankees' approach is what it always is. Make a pitcher work, but when you see something you can do damage against, make sure you do that. A lot of quality at-bats, a lot of productive at-bats yesterday, and as we pointed out, Bob, you don't always have to hit the ball over the fence. Yes, Judge went deep, but the bottom of the order had a ton of strong at-bats.
Well, we got a lot more coming up, but before we go to break, we want to take a moment to send out our thoughts to a baseball lifer. Yesterday, the St. Bonaventure baseball team posted that they were paying tribute to Fred Handler, who passed away earlier this week. Handler served as the Bonnies head coach from 1952 to 1982 and was instrumental in the growth of the program from a club sport to varsity status. Today, Handler Park is named in his honor. Handler is also the father of Yes's Vice President of Communications, Eric Handler, so we send our condolences to Eric and his family. Well, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, focus back on baseball. On the FanDuel Yankees pregame, it's Marcus Stroman's second start of the season. We'll tell you what to expect as he goes up against the Pirates, so stick around.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Hi, I'm News 12 meteorologist Alex Calamio with your game day forecast, and it is looking like a stormy one. We're watching for some scattered thunderstorms that could produce some downpours around first pitch time, but otherwise there will be mostly cloudy skies, so it's definitely not a washout. But if you get in on those downpours, expect it to briefly interrupt the game. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s and close to 70, so it's quite mild, but a little swampy.
Alex, thank you for that. We'll see how that plays into the offensive performances today of both the Yanks and Pirates. Pittsburgh's lineup brought to you by Toyota. Adam Frazier leaving off career against Marcus Stroman, 13 at-bats. 385 average and 3 runs batted in, followed by Reynolds, Cruz, Hayes, Sawinski, Canario, Valdez, Rodriguez, and then IKF rounding things out. So they go up against Marcus Stroman today, and he had one of those first outings, Jack, where he was just trying to push his way through 5, but couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, he ended up falling 1 out shy of potentially qualifying for a win. He wants to have the kind of start he had last year, Bob. You see the numbers right there, an ERA of under 3 through the first 14 games, and then pretty much double that or more for the last 16 games. Positive from his opening outing this year, the sinker was on point. He throws that pitch more than any other pitch, and he held batters to 1 for 8 with that pitch. He wants soft contact, he wants ground balls, he wants batters to chase pitches on the edges.
Well, one last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. We're going to get Jack's key to the game next, so stick around on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law. Counsel that cares. Results that matter. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. Another game, another offensive outburst from the Yankees yesterday to take the first game of this series in Pittsburgh. For game 2, let's do a same-game parlay of Aaron Judge to hit a home run, Oswald Peraza to get a hit, and Marcus Stroman to go over 4.5 strikeouts. That parlay would hit at plus 858. Right now, FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins.
Got you for about another minute before we get you out to Pittsburgh, where it's swampy. Meredith says no sad sacks today, which we're hoping for that. Thank you, Meredith. Let's get your key to the game and maybe how it relates to the offense.
Yeah, I think we have to go to the top of the order with Paul Goldschmidt, and that's why my key is Goldilocks it in. And by that, I mean he gets things started. He's the catalyst. Bob, he loves hitting in that ballpark, an OPS of almost 900. He's always been great against lefties. This is the second lefty starter the Yankees will face this year. They've got 4 righties in the lineup. One thing to note about Falter, he's tall. He's 6'4". He throws over the top. His fastball's in the low 90s, Bob, but he gets more extension, so it'll sneak up on you as a hitter. You know the Yankees are aware of that.
We're about to find out what will happen. It's Michael Kay, John Flaherty, Meredith Morakovitz with the call. Jack and I will see you on the post game. Enjoy it. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
No, that is not Abbey Road. We're here in Pittsburgh, where the rain is held up enough that it is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Pittsburgh Pirates in the middle game of a 3-game set from PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees won the first game of the series. Obviously, there was an Aaron Judge home run, but in a sneaky way, every time Trent Grisham is in the lineup, the Yankees win, and he produces.
Well, we know Trent Grisham is a Gold Glove center fielder, an outstanding defender, but he also had an amazing spring training at the plate, and he's rode that into the first week of the season. And you're right, when you have somebody like Cody Bellinger who maybe needs a day or two off, Grisham just slides right into center field. No problem dealing with left-handed pitching, using all fields with a little bit of power. We saw it last year from Trent Grisham. When he gets his at-bats, he has the ability to drive the ball into the seats. So a role player coming into the year has played an important role at the beginning of the season.
And Bellinger will be out of the lineup again today. He's nursing a sore lower back. Should be okay if they have to pinch hit. 6 for 13, 462 for Grisham. Yankees 3-0 when he starts. The 6 through 9 hitters yesterday, they were raking 9 for 15 with 7 ribbies and 2 runs scored. Well, the Yankees won the last game of their homestand against the Diamondbacks. The first game yesterday, they tried to make it 3 in a row. So let's take a look now at the Home Depot getting it done pitching matchup. Young left-hander Bailey Falter is going to get the start for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and for the Yankees, it's Marcus Stroman. In his first start, he was 1 out away from qualifying for a win.
Yeah, 4 2/3 innings. Going to be a little bit disappointed that he didn't put himself in line for a W. Had a no decision in that outing. We know from watching Marcus Stroman, he is a guy who pitches to the edges. He relies on location with his fastball. He relies on movement with his off-speed pitches. He's not a big swing and miss guy, so the Yankees defensively have to be on point here in Pittsburgh.
Well, it's game 1,001 in the career of Aaron Judge. What a first 1,000. What does he do today? When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees, Pirates, next, right here on Yes. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Mohegan Sun. Something's always happening at Mohegan. By Hyundai. With a brand new Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. And by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Some of the Yankees and Pirates. Guys that have played for both teams. Andrew McCutchen had a short stint in the Bronx. Well, Bailey Falter is about to take his warm-ups here at PNC Park. The rain is held up, and we will start on time. And here's the lineup that Falter will face. Paul Goldschmidt at first base leads off, batting second, the DH Ben Rice. Aaron Judge in right field will hit third. Cleaning up second baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr. Anthony Volpe, the shortstop, bats fifth. Batting sixth and catching Austin Wells. Jason Dominguez in left field will hit seventh. Batting eighth and playing third base, Oswald Peraza. And Trent Grisham is in center field. He's going to bat ninth.
Well, the left-hander Bailey Falter just starting his warm-up tosses. Those are the numbers from last year. 28 starts, the ERA at 4.43. Check out our Nissan pitcher scouting report on Falter. Coming off a good first start, no decision against the Marlins. 6 innings, couple of runs, did not walk a batter and struck out 4. And he's a classic 4-pitch mix. 4-seam, curveball, sinker, and a slider. And that fastball is deceptive. He delivers the ball right over the top and gets great extension towards home plate. Makes the fastball play a little bit higher.
A little bit of a different Pirate lineup today. Here's their defense. Sawinski in left, Cruz in center. Canario is over in right. Brian Hayes at third. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa plays short. Adam Frazier gets the start at second. And Manuel Valdez at first. Andy Rodriguez behind the plate. Brian Reynolds the DH. And John told you all about Bailey Falter on the mound. Time now for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, we talked in the open that Stroman likes to expand the strike zone. You wonder how that's going to work against some young hitters in the lineup for Pittsburgh. And Aaron Boone has to deal with left-handed pitching against his lineup. It seems like opposing clubs trying to deploy a bunch of lefties out of the bullpen. They get a left-handed starter today. And Aaron Boone would love to see his club 1 through 9 deliver like they did yesterday. A very deep lineup.
Well, Falter has finished up his warm-ups, and we are moving closer to baseball. Paul Goldschmidt digs in. He's ready. Falter's ready. And let's do it here in Pittsburgh. Low and inside, 1-0, we're underway. Chris Guccione is the home plate ump. David Rackley at first, Edwin Moscoso at second. Tom Hanahan is over at third. Fly ball, shallow right. Canario. 1 down here in the first. Let's check out what Chris Guccione's about. He's hitter friendly, so he calls fewer high strikes, fewer outside strikes, and he's the crew chief in his 26th big league season. Here's Ben Rice. He's gotten on base in 12 of his 25 plate appearances, an on-base percentage of .480. Been sitting atop the lineup, but against the lefty, they move him to second. Goldschmidt is such a force against lefty pitching. Now, Aaron Boone was asked before the game, have you given any thought to what you're going to do with Rice when Stanton comes back? And he quickly said, nope. That was his answer.
Well, he was also asked about Clark Schmidt coming back to the rotation, and the same answer. We'll worry about that when it's time to make a decision.
Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. 70 degrees, chance of rain all night. Humidity 75%. The wind out of the west-southwest at 10 miles per hour. Now, I have the utmost respect for Aaron Boone. You know that. He has given a lot of thought to both of those things. He's not just going to decide the day that it happens.
He's definitely thought about it, but when you have a hitter who's set that exit velo at about 100 or above since the start of spring training into the start of the season, he's going to continue to get at bats. And the one question defensively, we've seen Ben Rice play first base, but you have Goldschmidt who's going to be there every day. Aaron Judge waiting on deck, but I'd like to see Ben Rice behind the plate and see what it looks like. Just haven't seen too many reps.
Strike three. Rice down looking on the 3-2 offering. Dropped a curveball in there.
Again, Falter throws about 92, 93, and that was a little short breaking ball that just locked up Ben Rice.
So here is Aaron Judge off to an unbelievable start. 6 home runs and 17 runs batted in. He's the first player ever to have 17 ribbies through 7 games. High fly ball. It's in the infield. Valdez, and called off by Frazier. And the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. And we'll go to the bottom of the first. In the top of the first. Now it's the Pirates' turn against Marcus Stroman. Pirates coming at 2-6. Their offense has struggled. Adam Frazier, the veteran second baseman, leads off. Brian Reynolds, the DH, hits second. O'Neill Cruz in center field will hit third. Then it's Key Brian Hayes, Jack Sawinski, and Alexander Canario. Batting seventh, playing first base, is Emmanuel Valdez. Eddie Rodriguez will catch, and Isaiah Kanafalefa, the shortstop, bats ninth.
Well, there's a veteran right-hander, Marcus Stroman, in the middle of his warm-up tosses. You see the numbers from last year. 10-9 record, ERA just over 4. Our Nissan pitcher scanner report wants to build on that last start. 4 2/3 through 81 pitches. Want to get that pitch count up to maybe 90, 95, and he's got good numbers in his career against the Pirates, a 2.75 ERA. Running game's going to be a part of this one. Pirates like to steal bags. They have 20 already. Stroman has struggled with the running game since 2023.
Struggled to the extent of 43 stolen bases and 49 attempts against Stroman. Pitch outside to Frazier.
That's what you do. You do your homework. Just picked up on that right away, didn't you?
Have nothing else to do.
No radio show today. Plenty of time.
Shot out of a cannon. There's a strike. Frazier, 33 years old, 10th big league season, signed a 1-year, $1.52 million deal to return to the Pirates in January. Spent his first 6 seasons in Pittsburgh, and he said he feels like this is home.
Well, that pitch right there will get your attention. Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire, not giving Stroman the call right on the corner. He's a guy who needs some pitches called strikes on the corner and just off.
Here's the Yankee defense. Dominguez, Grisham, and Judge in the outfield. Third base to first, Peraza, Volpe, Chisholm, and Goldschmidt.
Wells behind the plate. Rice to DH. Stroman on the mound. Fouled away.
Well, Frazier, a veteran hitter, but a lot of young hitters in this lineup. And if Marcus Stroman can get this lineup in swing mode, it should be a good afternoon for him.
Grounded to Goldschmidt. He flips to Stroman. One down here in the first. That brings up Brian Reynolds. Had a home run in yesterday's game. Once again, he is the DH. Ground ball left side. Volpe fires to first. Got him. Nice play to get Brian Reynolds.
Well, nice play by Anthony Volpe. We talk about Stroman getting a lot of ground balls. The defense is going to have to be on point behind him. And the Gold Glover for the Yankees shortstop, a nice play going to the backhand, the throw on the move, and right on the money.
Here's O'Neal Cruz. Pitch is high. Pirates offense in the early going, they're 2-6, and they have not been able to score. They scored 2.88 runs per game, tied for the third fewest by any team in baseball. The Rockies are the worst. They score 2 runs a game. The next 2 teams will surprise you, Houston and Texas.
Texas off to a good start, but not scoring a lot of runs.
Again, great pitching.
See the snow yesterday in Colorado for their opener?
Yeah. Two and one on Cruz.
Well, if you're Austin Wells behind the plate, you obviously warmed up Stroman in the bullpen, but you have to be encouraged by what he's seeing so far. Some soft contact on the ground, locating his pitches.
3-1. Now you want to keep Cruz off the bases. He's 7 for 7 in stolen bases in the early going. Key Brian Hayes is on deck. And a strike, 3-2.
Well, an interesting pitch call there. A 3-1 fastball at 90 on the inner half. Got to believe O'Neal Cruz looking off speed in that count. Got a fastball, surprised him.
Still 3-2. Stroman has made 6 starts, 7 games against Pittsburgh. Good ERA, 2.75, 2-3 mark. And last year he was very good on the road. He had a 3.09 ERA. His personal record was 5-2, but the team's record in his starts on the road, 11-3. Payoff. Swing and a foul ball. He's a fan of the same anime as Jazz Chisholm. See, with his arm protection. Another foul ball. Monkey DeLuffy. Jazz got a big kick out of it that we spoke about. His anime love on a previous game. Three-two. Continuing to battle.
And again, encouraging signs for Stroman here in the first. A bunch of different pitches, nipping at the corners. Got this young hitter in swing mode.
Grounded, foul. O'Neill Cruz, 21 homers and 22 steals last season. He was very erratic defensively at short, so they moved him to center last August, and that's where he is this season. Happy little Yankee fan. Grounded inside first and down the right field line. And Cruz is off to the races. Played out there by Judge, and O'Neill Cruz with a double. I'm kind of wondering why Cruz just broke it down like that.
Yeah, he kind of came around first base and put it into Cadillac mode, thinking it was only going to be a double. And Aaron Judge had a little trouble out there in right field. And right there, he just says, all right, 2-out double, I'm good. Fouled off some tough pitches, finally got something he could handle just past Goldschmidt.
There's Hayes with a home run in yesterday's game. Ground ball, Goldschmidt. Flips to Stroman, and that'll do it. Here in the first, no runs a hit. One man left. Let's go to the second. Game parlay. We go to the second inning. 0-0. It'll be Chisholm, Volpe, and Wells against Falter. Chisholm hitless in 5 at-bats yesterday.
Well, hitters will constantly communicate in the dugout between innings on what an opposing pitcher has or does not have that day after the first inning. And I'm sure the Yankee hitters were talking about the fastball from Falter. If you look back to that first, Goldschmidt, a weak fly ball to right field. Aaron Judge, fastball at 92 down the middle that he popped up. And hitters will say, you know what, it just got on me. It had a little bit of life.
And Jazz gets plunked. A couple of Yankees got hit yesterday.
Yeah, this was a theme in yesterday's game. The Pirates trying to run the ball in on the hands of the Yankee hitters. Got that right elbow, right forearm.
Might have lucked out, could have gotten him on the protection. There's Anthony Volpe. He has hits in 6 of the 7 games. He was 3 for 4 yesterday, 6 for his last 16. You mentioned Falter's fastball. Well, his average fastball is about 92, which doesn't really seem overpowering. But he gets great extension, has a really long stride. Now the average extension on a pitcher's release point is 6.5 feet from the rubber. Falter's is 7.3, so he's releasing the ball 9 to 10 inches closer to home plate.
Yeah, when you're in the batter's box, it's almost tough to explain, but you see it good, but it just gets on you quicker than you expect. And at 92, you're looking up at the miles per hour on the scoreboard saying, man, it says 92, but it felt like 95, 96. A little bit of an adjustment that has to be made during or after that first at bat. Another look, he throws right over the top with that great extension that Michael talked about. It just has a little extra life.
And it's always interesting to see why a player becomes the player that he is in the big leagues. And with Falter, his dad, Darwin, constantly showed him photos and videos of Sandy Koufax. And he had pictures of Sandy in his room. He said he went to sleep, looked up, and there was Sandy Koufax, and he would say, oh man, I want to be just like that. I always remember, John Mattingly hit to left field so well. And I asked him, how did that happen? He said, we had a big oak tree in right field in the backyard. And if you hit it into the oak tree, you're out. He said, so I just learned to hit it to left field. And down goes Volpe. One away.
Again, it's that little slider that caught Ben Rice looking, and it gets Anthony Volpe to swing out in front of it. We'll talk a lot about the fastball, but when you're late on 92, you do get it going a little bit quicker. Got him with the slider.
There's Austin Wells, hitless yesterday in 4 at-bats. Chisholm leads off first, obviously a threat to go. Oh and 1. Yankees come in at 5-2. They took 4 out of 6 on their season opening homestand, swept the Brewers, and took 1 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks. And they won the game yesterday to start off this 6-game road trip. Runner goes, pitch is high, throw to second. Safe. Stolen base.
Well, that's Endy Rodriguez behind the plate. He has a strong throwing arm coming off elbow surgery a bit ago, but a little bit high. IKF tries to get the tag down. And Jazz Chisholm to the back corner of the bag, able to elude the tag.
Pirates were looking to see if they would challenge. They do not. 1-1 on Wells as Chisholm now in scoring position. One and 2. Another foul ball.
The slider is definitely the off-speed pitch that Falter has going early on in this one. You see the Pirates defensively. IKF pretty much middle of the diamond just to the shortstop side. So a big hole for Austin Wells if he wants to go the other way.
Fouled away. Falter wearing number 6 this year. He had been number 26 previously, but he gave it to his new teammate Adam Frazier. They're working out a deal for the number, but Bailey said he thinks they're settling on a new set of golf clubs. Were you attached to a number, John?
So my favorite number when I was in high school was number 6. And a big reason why was Roy White and Steve Garvey. I was a big Steve Garvey fan. And the places that I played in the big leagues, number 6 was not available except Tampa Bay, and I had a terrible year, so I switched my number back to 23.
And once you got to the Yankees, it wouldn't have been cool to ask Torrey, can I have your number?
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen, but you know what? I was pumped when I got to my first Yankee spring training that number 17 was hanging in the locker. Lou and Robbie Kukuza, I felt, hooked me up big time with that. But if you remember at the end of '03, Aaron Boone got traded to the Yankees.
Ground ball and through for a base hit. Chisholm will score easily. Good at bat for Wells, an RBI single, and the Yankees are on the board.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to hang in there as a hitter and foul off some tough pitches and wait until maybe you get a mistake. And Austin Wells, this isn't his ace swing. It's not the highest exit velocity, But perfect placement through the hole on the right side. Yankees are on the board.
So Boone took your number?
No, so when Aaron got traded over to the Yankees, his favorite number was 17. That's what he wore in Cincinnati. And I was wearing that for, what, 4 months of the regular season. And I offered, I said, listen, if you want 17, I'll give it to you. And he said, no, I got 19 and I'm good. But obviously now that he's the manager of the Yankees, he's back to 17. Looking back, I probably should have negotiated a little bit, right? So if I can get a set of golf clubs.
2-0. On Dominguez. 4 for 9 his last 2 games. Average up to 292. And a strike from Falter.
Now, Dominguez, a switch hitter, needs some more reps from the right side, but he's put himself in a good count here, ahead 2-1. Look for a pitch and let it fly.
3-1 as he takes the slider.
Well, you should see an ace swing right here. Look for that fastball with Peraza waiting on deck. Make sure you get the bat head out front.
Popped up on the right side. Who's going to get it? Frazier makes the call on the catch.
And I hate to go back to it again, Michael, but that's a 3-1 count, a hitter's count, a fastball count. And Dominguez got the fastball, but Falter just has a little something extra that makes you work underneath, pop it up. You get jammed a little bit, just tough to center.
Here's Oswald Peraza getting the start at third. Sure, it's disappointing that Cabrera had a big game yesterday, and he is a switch hitter, but the weaker side is the right side, and I guess they've got to get Peraza some at-bats.
Yeah, you got to get him some at-bats. Already has a home run, couple of RBIs, and kind of find out where he's going to fit in on this club. So this afternoon with a lefty on the mound, that's his opportunity. But
2-0.
This goes to show you how much the game has changed, right? Andrew McCutchen yesterday had a big afternoon. For the Pirates, 3 hits. He's not in the lineup today because a righty Stroman's out on the mound. Cabrera has a big day. He's sitting.
2-1.
Well, this is Oswaldo Peraza and that home run against Milwaukee, a hanging slider. And a good start to his season offensively.
2-2. And down goes Peraza, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get a run on 1 hit with 1 man left. Brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Today's picture is of Paul and Debbie, who are all smiles at a recent game in the Bronx. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Jack Sawinski will lead off. One and 0. The 4 guys on the bench all started yesterday's game. He has 4 right-handers on the bench. And kind of has like a day game after night game lineup against Marcus Stroman. 2-2. Count full. You know, Stroman works the corner so much and really has to hit the edges that every time you look up, it seems like he's 3-2, and you have a high pitch count or the 4th and 5th inning. Swing and a miss. Sawinski down on strikes.
First strikeout of the afternoon for Marcus Stroman, but Michael, it just seems like Stroman's never going to give in, right? He's just always going to pitch to the edges, try to get some soft contact. That's going to elevate his pitch count. He's got so much movement, he can pitch on the plate a little bit more, trust his defense. Always look at the starting catcher behind the plate, where he's setting up, where he's delivering his target, and it's always off the plate when Stroman's on the mound.
Fly ball left field. They retire Canario. You know, we've talked a lot about, you know, the learning process that Dominguez is going through in left field, and Aaron Boone today repeated what he has said several times. He said, I don't think he's going to be okay in left. He said, I think he's going to be an outstanding left fielder in due time.
Well, I think the one tool that Aaron keeps pointing to is his speed and how athletic he is. And
into center field, right there is Grisham. Nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Marcus Stroman and the Yankees. We'll go to the 3rd. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear. Trent Grisham will lead off the 3rd. Yankees lead 1-0. And the pitch by Falter is outside. Grisham getting another start as Cody Bellinger not in the starting lineup as he continues to rehab from a bit of a stiff back. He said he's okay, and Boone said he's a player today off the bench if they need. But it's going to be interesting. You know, he was asked, how do you think this happened? He said, maybe from the cold weather in New York. Well, Detroit saying, hold my beer, because it's going to be cold in Detroit.
Bellinger took about 35 to 40 swings, so he's available.
High fly ball right field. Canario back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya. Another home run for Grisham, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
Well, Aaron Boone continuing to give Grisham some opportunities, and he is rewarding him with that confidence. A long home run to right field. Left-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter, doesn't make a difference. What a start to his season after a solid spring training.
Five hits in his last 3 games. He's 5 for 8. Goldschmidt with a fly ball, right field line. Canario runs out of room. It's off the screen.
Well, let's take another look at the swing, and I've been talking about that fastball that's beating everybody. Well, it does not beat Trent Grisham. He gets the bat head out, gets good extension. We've seen this in his Yankee career, plenty of power to right field. Got to give our producer Troy Benjamin a little bit of credit. We opened our show today with the Trent Grisham reel. Fully expected we'd be talking about Aaron Judge.
Well, John, I'm going to let you know a little secret. If Troy had his way, we'd open every show with Trent Grisham.
Wow.
It's his favorite player.
Giving the role players a little bit of love.
Base hit over the leaping try of IKF as Goldschmidt picks up a single.
All right, something to pay attention to second time through the lineup. Now, I mentioned Goldschmidt got beat with the fastball. His first at bat, a weak fly ball to right field. Well, makes a little adjustment the second time around. Gets ready a little bit earlier and just tomahawks that into left field.
There's Ben Rice. He struck out looking in the first inning. You know, John, if you go inside the numbers on Goldschmidt, he is a force against lefty pitching. So coming into this game, in his last 120 at-bats against lefties, hitting .333, 17 extra base hits. That dates back to 2024. Popped up, shallow left. Who's going to get it? Called off by Serwinski, and he makes the play.
And Michael, getting back to Goldschmidt, I mean, we're getting to know him as a Yankee, watching him play every day and what his approach is at the plate. But I always remember St. Louis and Arizona, how he would wear right center field out, and just puts him in a great position against left-handed pitching where the breaking ball is coming in. You can look for the ball away and react in, which is exactly what he did that last at bat.
Here's Aaron Judge. Snap throw to first. Diving back is Goldschmidt. Check out the leaders brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. So in 1,000 games with the Yankees, Aaron Judge has the same amount of home runs as Babe Ruth had in his first 1,000 games, 321. Yankees as a team with 24 home runs. In their 8th game, that's the most any team has had through 8 games. And right in the middle of it is Judge.
Well, Judge was asked a lot of questions last night after the game about Babe Ruth, Hall of Fame, all of these other things, and his comment to Meredith and the media was, I live in the present. I stay in the present. And I believe him when he says that. Watching his approach every day, every at bat. So if he gets off to an 0 for 2, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, it doesn't bother him. He just locks in on that 4th at bat.
Ground ball is short. There's one, and there's two. But the Yankees add a run. Off the bat of Trent Grisham. He's been red hot. It's his 2nd home run of the year, and it is 2-0 Yanks. Yes is brought to you in part by Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. By Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Bottom of the 3rd, 8-9-1 for the Pirates against Marcus Stroman. Pitch up and away to Endy Rodriguez. Yankees 2 runs on 3 hits. The Pirates no runs on 1 hit.
Endy Rodriguez getting the start today. Joey Bart, good numbers against Stroman, 3 for 4 in his career, but he's sitting, and Rodriguez, the lefty, is in there. There was a battle during spring training for the backup catching job. Henry Davis, a 1st-round pick of the Pirates a few years ago out of Louisville and out of Fox Lane High School in New York, got sent down to AAA. Rodriguez making the club. And Henry Davis played for the legendary high school baseball coach Matt Hillis at Fox Lane High School.
That's a blow for a team like the Pirates. Davis was an incredibly high draft pick in the 1st round, and for that not to work out up to this point, that hurts. You can't miss on those picks. Two and two.
Yeah, Henry Davis, such an athletic player. He's played the outfield a little bit. You know, in today's game behind the plate, you're graded with your metrics on your framing, your receiving. And I guess his game defensively needs a little work.
Rodriguez down looking.
Well, Stroman doing his thing, picking at the corners. See the high target from Austin Wells, the elevated fastball located perfectly. Get Rodriguez looking.
And a strike from Stroman. Pirates have had trouble scoring runs. Tied with the Rangers for 4th fewer. Yankees actually have more home runs than they have runs. Yankees have 24 home runs. Pirates have 23 runs. One and two. With the Yankees for 2 years, IKF played every position except catcher and first base, and he can catch. Fly ball center field. Grisham. 2 outs. Frazier actually has played in the postseason in each of his last 3 Octobers. 3 different teams, in 2022 with the Mariners, 2023 with the Orioles, and last year with the Royals, who lost to the Yankees in the ALDS. Ground ball, Chisholm from the outfield grass. And Stroman has retired 7 in a row since the double by Cruz in the first. Yes, Yankees and the Pirates wrap up this 3-game set here in Pittsburgh. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Audi batting practice in the pregame. The first pitch will be just after 1:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Jazz Chisholm leads off the 4th. Yankees lead 2-0. Swing and a miss. Looks like he might have gotten a piece of Endy Rodriguez on that swing. Oh and 2. So you see Jazz and O'Neal Cruz both with the same anime, paying homage to their favorite anime. John, you should have seen O'Neal's, not O'Neal Cruz, but Paul O'Neal's eyes glaze over when I talked about anime.
What is an anime?
It's a special kind of animation.
So it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Now you're speaking my language.
But it's a higher level of cartoon. It's anime. Meredith, you want to chime in? You just gave me a look.
I'm so impressed, Michael. You impress me every day. I did not know that you had such a knowledge of anime until you read off all the facts 2 broadcasts ago. And I think the players are impressed too. I just hope you can get Flaherty up to speed.
Need an education.
Now he won't even look at me, John.
No, I appreciate what you said. Swing and a miss. Chisholm down on strikes.
Those 3 fastballs to Chisholm. Falter just challenging him left on left.
There's another guy who had an incredibly long stride for pitcher and didn't have high velocity but blew the ball past people, a former Yankee, David Robertson. Volpe fouls it away.
And again, it's hard to explain, but when you get in that big league batter's box, see the strikeout percentage last year, lowest in the major leagues. But you stand in the batter's box against a pitcher, and it's hard to explain to people when they say, well, how can you hit 95, 98 miles an hour? Well, a pitcher might show you that his arm, his hand real early. You just get a look at it as a hitter, and it plays down to about 93. On the flip side with Falter, you have a tough time picking it up right over the top. He gets a lot of swings and misses with fastball slider combo.
So 5 strikeouts for Falter.
Again, you got to respect the fastball. Makes you early on the off speed.
Trying to rain a little harder here in Pittsburgh. 2 outs. Here's Wells. RBI single in the second.
Now, Michael, I know you're a big ballpark connoisseur, chicken fingers to be exact. Well, Austin Wells likes a good breakfast burrito. He started an Instagram account ranking breakfast burritos on the road. It started yesterday here at PNC Park. Gave it an 87 out of 100.
Wow.
Has almost 40,000 followers already, Michael.
That's pretty impressive.
We'll see if it continues throughout the season. Did give an update today. No breakfast burritos in the clubhouse today, so wasn't able to do a new ranking, but certainly something to keep an eye on.
Breakfast burrito. That's a little. That's a gamble early
It's aggressive.
morning. Yeah, isn't
It's
it?
aggressive. Yeah.
Day game after a night game, going for the breakfast burrito.
It's taking a chance. He fits it in though. I mean, he has pitchers meetings, hitters meetings. Still time to rank the burritos.
High fly ball, left field. Sawinski back, still backpedaling on the track, makes the play for the final out. So the Yankees go down in order. So the burrito did not give him enough power, just a little short. $50-50 raffle is now open during every home game in Yankee Stadium. One lucky fan wins half the pot, and the other half is donated to the New York Yankees Foundation. Buy your tickets now at yankees.com/5050. Now, Meredith was talking about the breakfast burrito Instagram by Austin Wells, and she brought up chicken fingers. Now, I love this ballpark. It's one of my favorite ballparks. John and I yesterday got chicken fingers from the stands. Huge disappointment.
I've never seen you more upset when I asked you how they
we
were.
both looked at each other. What wasted calories? And we both didn't eat half of it. It was cold. It was hard. It was awful. Awful.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Michael.
On a scale of 1 to 100, it was a 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we should start an Instagram account for you, Michael Ranks Chicken Fingers.
That's a great idea.
You know what? I'm all for it.
I love this. You know what? Maybe they deserve a second chance. Opening day, things are kind of crazy.
No, see,
Maybe
John
not
and I
in the swing of it.
we decided against it, went with a burger, and we were very happy with that.
Tomorrow is another day, though. Give him another chance. Everybody deserves a second
We go
chance.
burritos tomorrow.
I'm not a big second chance guy, Meredith. I think you know that.
Not shocking to hear that out loud.
You a breakfast burrito guy?
No. Are you?
No, no chance.
Fouled away. Kind of a dreary day here in Pittsburgh. More of this expected tomorrow. Yankees and Pirates just hoping to get these games in. And that's one of the perils of interleague baseball. You come in once. You got to get the games in. And if you don't, you've got to somehow squeeze a return trip to Pittsburgh on an off day. And nobody wants to do that. No one wants to do that with any city. 3-2 on Reynolds. And Reynolds with a leadoff walk here in the fourth. Here's O'Neal Cruz. He doubled his first time up. Missed outside, 1-0.
Well, O'Neal Cruz has the only hit off of Marcus Stroman, a double in the first. Fouled off some tough pitches, eventually got something he could handle. But 2 good takes on the first 2 pitches of this at bat.
There's a strike.
For a team that's struggling to score runs, O'Neal Cruz, their big power threat in the middle of the lineup.
Three and one.
Well, from watching Marcus Stroman the last year and plus, you would expect something with movement to the corners, maybe off speed, and a fastball count, trying to get a ground ball.
Goes with the breaking ball.
Yeah, good pitch. Backdoor, clips the strike zone. You get back in the count. Now you have an O'Neal Cruz thinking about the ball away. You can try to sneak a fastball in for strike three. You can go backdoor with the breaking ball again.
And he tried but missed. So 2 straight walks to open up the 4th.
Yeah, this is the dangerous part of Marcus Stroman and his game. If he's not getting the calls just off the corner, a couple of free passes here in the 4th inning has the Pirates set up.
Here's Hayes. Line drive, it's a base hit. Reynolds scores. Cruz motoring to third, he'll stop there. It's an RBI double for Hayes, and it's 2-1 Yanks.
Well, we've seen this from Hayes in yesterday's ball game, and today he likes to swing early. Aggressive when he walks up to the plate, and after back-to-back walks, he doesn't waste any time hammering that ball down the left field line. Reynolds is going to score easily. The only question, O'Neal Cruz coming around second, on his way to third, gets held up.
Matt Blake goes out and talks. 4-game hitting streak for Key Brian Hayes. So the conference is over, but still a problem for Stroman. 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. Now with 2 runners on, the Yankees will not bring the infield in, so a ground ball will tie the game.
You're trying to stay away from the big inning here. If you're Stroman, you trade an out for a run, and then you go to work.
And if you're the Pirates, if you get that ground ball, you want it to the right side. Not only would it score Cruz, but Hayes would move to third with just 1 out.
Yeah, this is where a veteran pitcher knows you can't get it all back in 1 at bat. You trade an out, a ground ball to the right side for a run, and then you try to get greedy after that.
1-1 on Sawinski. Two and 1. So before the 2 walks, John, he had retired 7 in a row, and then he really does work the edges, and he's got to clip those edges.
And again, you see where Austin Wells is setting up well off the plate inside, and Stroman hits the glove, but it's not close to the strike zone. Now you're in a dangerous count, 3-1. Things can get away from you pretty quickly here.
And there's a walk to load the bases, nobody out.
Well, you got to be careful here with a young hitter like Canario, bases loaded, a lot of walks in the inning. You'd expect him to be looking to do some damage on the first pitch.
Yankees playing a double play depth. And Peraza, right before the pitch was delivered at third base, backed up quickly about 10 to 12 feet. They know Cruz has such good speed at third, they probably wouldn't try the double play that way. But the deeper Peraza plays, the bigger the lead that Cruz could get. Snap throw to third. Back in time. Timing play.
That's a gutsy play by Austin Wells behind the plate, trying to get his starting pitcher and out and maybe get out of this inning. The timing play with Peraza, well executed. Cruz is able to get back. Dangerous play. That gets away from you. It's a couple of runs.
2-1 on Canario. Big cut. Trying for 4 with 1 swing. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Stroman. 1 away.
Ironically, this is probably one of the worst pitches Stroman throws this whole inning as far as location. I mean, that's right down the middle. Usually he's pitching to the corners. He's able to get a big strikeout. And now you start dreaming a little 6-4-3 double play, something on the ground, and he could wiggle his way out of a big problem.
Valdez hits one deep to right field. Going back, Judge is going to turn, look, and that ball is off the wall. 2-run score. Going to third is Sawinski. It's a 2-run double for Valdez, and the Pirates lead 3-2.
We talked about the young lineup for the Pirates. They're going to be aggressive. They'll expand, but that was a cutter pretty much middle of the plate. Drilled off that right field wall. The base is loaded. Everybody's going to be on the move.
Valdez's first hit of the season. Yankees in at the corners for Rodriguez. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Grounded to first. Goldschmidt thought about coming home. He'll step on the back. Sliding home is Sawinski. And Pittsburgh leads 4-2.
A great jump by Sawinski at third base. Going on contact. Goldschmidt, it would have had to be a perfect throw right on time to get him. Chose to take the out.
And that ground ball moved Valdez to third. So runner at third now with 2 outs. And here is Kiner Falefa. So just a sudden change of events this inning. The 2 walks started it. He had allowed just 1 hit, 1 base runner in the first 3 innings. 5 base runners in this inning. Strike. One and one. Adam Frazier on deck. He'd be the 9th batter to come to the plate. One and two.
Well, like KFO is always going to give you a tough at bat, tough to strike him out. Usually puts the ball in play.
Lays off that pitch outside. Fouls the fastball away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch. Missed outside, 3-2. No action in the Yankee pen.
Tim Hill.
Now he's got, now he got up. Soft ground ball, charging Peraza. And he gets Kiner-Falefa for the final out. But the Pirates take the lead with 4 runs. They leave 1 man on. Let's check out today's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Rehab assignment today for Clark Schmidt, 3 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He threw 52 pitches. Expected to make 1 more rehab start. He will return to the Yankee rotation either on April 15th or 16th, according to Aaron Boone. So now the Yankees trail 4-2 as we go to the 5th. 1-0 on Dominguez. 1-1.
Love those numbers from Clark Schmidt. Only 1 walk, swing, struck out 7. So he had some swing and miss going.
46 pitches. He had 11 swings and misses. Inside first and down the right field line, a base hit for Dominguez. It kicks off the side wall. Dominguez going to second, and he'll stop right there as Canario gets the ball in.
Well, maybe this will give Jason Dominguez a little bit more confidence from the right side, just slashing the ball the other way. Great look at this angle here, keeping it fair. When it bounces off of this wall, you're thinking the possibility of 3. Dominguez settles with a leadoff double.
Three straight games for Dominguez with a double. Here's Oswald Peraza. Waves at that one. Over a curveball. 0-1. Peraza struck out in the second.
Well, you think back to yesterday's game, the Yankees put 9 on the board and their lineup was just relentless, 1 through 9. A lot of traffic, a lot of pressure. Well, now they're in catch-up mode. See what they do here, down by 2.
Yeah, the bottom of the order was deadly yesterday for the Yankees. 6 through 9 hitters. They were 9 for 15, 2 doubles, 7 ribbies, and 5 runs scored. They reached in 14 of 20 plate appearances. Two and 2. .71 pitches for Bailey Falter. There's a base hit through the left side. Dominguez had to hold up to see if it got through, so he'll stop at third. Peraza with a single. That'll bring up Trent Grisham. We take a look at Coors Light beating the pressure. Last 3 games, he's beat the pressure. .625 average, 2 home runs, 4 ribbies, and OPS, wow, 2.200. Home run is first time up today. 2nd home run of the year. He's 5 for his last 8. Shows bunt, takes upstairs.
Trent Grisham, just such a professional hitter, gives you a big league at bat, it seems like, every time. And hear that thought of maybe laying down a bunt to pick up an RBI. Middle of the field fly ball will get the job done.
1-1.
Take a look back in the 3rd inning. Trent Grisham, fastball right down Broadway, and he does not miss it. 2nd of the year.
Upstairs, 2-1. And Colin Holderman is warming for Pittsburgh. Swings over the slider, 2-2. Goldschmidt's on deck. His first start against Miami, went 6 innings, didn't walk a batter. Hasn't walked anybody today. High fly ball, deep left, backing up Sawinski on the track at the wall. See ya! He goes the other way. Grisham does it again. A 3-run home run to give the Yankees a 5-4 lead.
He just gives you a big league at bat. Day after day, night after night, to hang in there against the lefty when he had 2 strikes on him, just trying to put the ball in play, get it in the air, middle of the field the other way. And he's rewarded with a 3-run bomb going right down the left field line. That is just a pro at bat right there from Trent Grisham.
Yankees' 25th home run of the year. Grisham's 2nd of the game, 3rd of the season. That's his first 2 home run game since June 30th of 2021. Way high off the glove of Rodriguez, 1-0 on Goldschmidt. It's his 3rd career multi-home run game. When you see Grisham in the dugout when he takes his hat off, and you'll see the swing here that sent it over the left field wall, a lot of friends of mine, a lot of people on social media have also remarked that Grisham has a slight resemblance to Reggie when Reggie was in the dugout after he hit those 3 home runs in the World Series. Kind of the same hairline, same way Reggie used to wear his hair. .3-0 on Goldschmidt. There's a strike.
Well, there's something about this personality of this offensive lineup for the Yankees. 9 last night. You're down 2 here in the 5th inning. You answer right away. 3 runs to take the lead.
And there's ball 4. There's Reggie. Mustache, the hair. So Oscar Marine, the pitching coach, comes out and will try to settle down Falter. So that conference breaks up. Doesn't look that familiar right there. Maybe just the hair. And Reggie hit 3 that day.
Well, he's got a chance. might be putting up 3 fingers today, Trent.
Ben Rice takes outside. Rice is struck out looking, and a fly ball to left. Two and 0.
Falter threw 87 pitches his first outing. This will be number 85 on the way, with Aaron Judge waiting on deck. Could be his last batter.
Couldn't hold up. Checks his swing on the slider, but went around. So 2-2 on Rice with Judge on deck. Be surprised if Judge faced Falter. They probably bring in Holderman. Check swing, 3-2. Ground ball through for a base hit for Rice. Goldschmidt will stop at second. Cruz gets the ball in. And the Yankees, 5 straight base runners here in the 5th.
Ben Rice has shown that he's got high exit velocity. He's also shown he can hang in there against left-handed pitching. Works the count to full and just stays middle of the field. First base hit of the afternoon for him.
Well, Derek Shelton has seen enough. Bailey falters here in the 5th inning, so they will go to the bullpen with the Yankees up by 1 and threatening. Moment, experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, the top of the 7th inning, Tim Mesa out on the mound. First pitch fastball out over the plate, and that is home run number 6 for Aaron Judge, a 2-run shot. Your Audi electric moment.
Here's Holderman. This will be his 5th game. He has the perfect last name. He had 49 holds last season, 3rd in the National League. Tyler Rogers of the Giants had 63. Joel Payamps of the Brewers had 50. Here's Judge 0 for 2 today. And Judge gets hit.
Well, Holderman has gotten off to a rough start this year, and the first pitch he throws is a slider sweeper that backs up and in to Aaron Judge, clips him right behind that left elbow in the pad.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's Jazz Chisholm Jr. Tied himself up there into a corkscrew. Count 0-1.
Well, we know Jazz likes the big moment. He's thinking grand salami on the first pitch, but he gets a slider down and in.
Yankees have taken the lead, looking for more here in the 5th inning. Oh, 0-2. Chisholm hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored a run in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. One and 2. Holderman, 29 years old. 4th big league season, started with the Mets. In 2022, he's been with the Pirates since then. The Mets got him for, well, they traded Holderman to the Pirates for Vogelbach in July of 2022. A very good trade for Pittsburgh. There's Vogelbach. 1-2 on Jazz. And he swings and misses. One away.
Well, Holderman clearly had a plan against Jazz Chisholm, and it was throw as many breaking balls as possible. Did not give him a fastball to lean on. First out here in the 5th.
Here's Volpe. Vogelbach is not a player, by the way, with the Pirates. He is returned as a special assistant to the hitting department. Fouled away. 0-2 on Volpe, who struck out twice. Bases remain loaded, 1 out. And that one gets past Rodriguez, but the runners stay put. Not much territory behind home plate, and it didn't get that far away.
Yeah, it was a 97-mile-an-hour sinker. Rodriguez just tries to go with the backhand and the pick. Takes a little steam off of it, holds Goldschmidt to third. I think if you're Anthony Volpe, you're getting a sweeper here at some point. We saw it to Jazz Chisholm. It's Holderman's best pitch.
Almost hit him. And the count 2-2.
It's the same pitch he threw Aaron Judge, the backup sweeper, up and in. Anthony with his 4 home runs this year, had 3 hits yesterday. Batting average starting to look a whole lot better. A chance really to break this one open here.
Fly ball, left center. On the run is Cruz. He's not going to get there. It's going to go up against the wall. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. Everybody scores. A bases clearing double for Anthony Volpe.
Well, Anthony Volpe in yesterday's game had a swing very similar to this one, where he drove the ball to right center field, but it wasn't his A swing. This, the same thing. Just kind of throws his hands at the baseball, and the ball jumps off of his bat to left center field. We'll get a look at all the runners. Goldschmidt's going to score easily going back to tag. No need. Ben Rice halfway. And here comes Aaron Judge, who had a great read on the play that was in front of him. And he scores easily.
Ground ball grabbed there by Valdez. And he will beat Wells to the bag. Took an extra base hit away as Volpe moves to third.
And another look at the swing from the side. Gets his front foot down, is off balance, and just flips his hands at the baseball. Drove that ball a long way for not his A swing.
And here's Dominguez, who started it all with a double against Falter. 0-1.
I mentioned at the beginning of this 5th inning, the Yankees playing catch up, down 4-2. Well, that is quite an answer. 6 runs already. Dominguez with an opportunity to add on.
Yankees have 4 extra base hits in the game. 39 on the season. And down goes Dominguez for the final out. But the Yankees come back. They put a big number on the board, 6. Their offense has been fueled by that man, Trent Grisham. A home run in the 3rd. And then here in the 5th, he gave the Yankees a lead again, going the other way for a 3-run shot. Move to the Gotham Sports app, your new home for streaming live Yankees, Nets, and more, free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now and sign in with your existing Yes app username and password, or visit gothamsports.com to get streaming. Well, the Yankees do not stay with Marcus Stroman. They take him out after 4 innings. The Audi scoreboard, Yankees have an 8-4 lead. Trent Grisham in the middle of it all and started that big inning with the 3-run home run. They turned to Tim Hill to face the top of the Pirates order.
Well, Tim Hill was loose and ready to go. You would assume this is his lane with the left-handed hitting Frazier leading off, the switch hitter Reynolds, and then O'Neal Cruz, the big threat left-handed hitter.
One and 0. On Frazier. Frazier was 0 for 2 against Stroman. And quickly 3-0 on the veteran. And 4 straight out of the zone.
Tim Hill, such a reliable relief pitcher, usually comes in pounding the strike zone 4 in a row. Make an adjustment, get back in the strike zone.
Five in a row. 1-0 on Brian Reynolds. There's a strike.
Well, it's no secret with Tim Hill. He's coming right at you with that good sinking fastball. Gets a lot of ground balls, weak contact.
Ground it. Grab that. Volpe. There's one. And there's 2. A hot shot somehow handled by the shortstop and turned into a 6-4-3.
Tim Hill usually gets weak contact. This is anything but a rocket right at Anthony Volpe. Comes up with a short hop and an easy play for Jazz to turn it from there.
Here's O'Neal Cruz. Just missed. 1-0. Ground ball second base. Chisholm turns it into an out. And with the rain in the forecast, it's significant. It's now an official game. Yankees lead 8-4. Thank you, Bob. We go around the majors. Jose Ramirez, such a good player. 3 home runs last night in Anaheim. 26 career 2 or more home run game. That ties the franchise record. Ketel Marte placed on the 10-day IL, strained left hamstring for the Diamondbacks. Big blow for them. And Jack Leiter placed on the 15-day IL with a blister. He'd been off to a blistering start for the Rangers. 2-0, 0.90 ERA.
Didn't his dad Al have blister problems?
Yes, it was habitual. And finally was able to work it out. He tried everything with pickle brine, but then it was a pumice stone that he would just rub against his fingers and get the callus hard. But it's amazing. That's what almost stopped Al at the beginning of his career. Caleb Ferguson is on the mound for the Pirates, former Yankee.
It's too bad for Jack Leiter, his development. He's got him now throwing upper 90s, close to 100 miles an hour. Big power right-handed arm.
Peraza just gets a piece. 4 scoreless appearances to start his Pirates tenure for Ferguson. 7th big league season. Signed a 1-year, $3 million deal with Pittsburgh in January. Grounded to short. Falefa just gets the speedy Peraza for out number 1. And that'll bring up Trent Grisham. Let's take a look at his home runs on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. 103.5 off the bat in the 3rd inning, traveled 389. In the 5th inning, goes the other way, 98.3, traveled 366. Eight 4 Yankees. We're in the 6th. Big cut. What I've noticed different from him from last year, John, he took so many pitches last year. He's being much more aggressive at the plate.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering with that great spring training that he had, he just feels so good about himself and his swing that you could be aggressive early in the count, trusting that you're going to put your ace swing on it.
Caught there by IKF. We're out number 2.
Usually when you're a role player, a backup player, you have your spring training, you get your at-bats, and then the beginning of the year, you got to sit on the bench and figure out when you're going to play. But Grisham has been in the lineup and been producing.
Goldschmidt 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He hits one to right field and deep. Canario back, turns, and he'll play it off the screen. Goldschmidt is going for 2. Karam was misplayed, so he has plenty of time to get in there. A 2-out double for Paul.
Well, Yankee fans can expect this approach against left-handed pitching from Goldschmidt. He just scoops that ball down and away and drives it to right field. It's a match made in heaven playing at Yankee Stadium with the short porch. This is going to be off the wall. 2-out double.
So here's Ben Rice. 1 for 3. High fly ball. Cruz is there. Cruz makes the play, and that'll do it. No runs a hit. 1 man left. Lead 8-4, and Hill deals a strike to Ke'Bryan Hayes. Hayes an RBI double left in the 4th inning against Stroman. And there's a strike from Hill in the 2nd inning of work. Hill had a strong season for the Yankees last year. And they have this innate ability to find pitchers out of the bullpen that have underachieved before and find that one thing that they think that they could tweak and make them better. I mean, we saw it with Luke Weaver, Ian Hamilton, Tim Hill. I mean, you could go down the line. They do a great job with the bullpen.
Seems like every year when the Yankees go to spring training, we're like, okay, who's going to be that guy that's going to come out of nowhere and be a big piece? Last year was Luke Weaver. Tim Hill was part of that.
Jake Cousins. And the bullpen is so important to baseball now because starters just don't give you length. So you're going to have to get 12 outs out of your bullpen. Hill recovers and cannot make the throw to Goldschmidt. Ball just slipped out of his hand.
Hayes, a hot shot right back at Hill, but you knew this was going to be trouble, and you're right, with the moisture on the grass, the wet baseball does not come up with it clean, loses a grip.
Conversation with Hill, and the Pirates will send up Tommy Pham, the veteran, to pinch hit for Jack Suwinski. Tommy left yesterday's game with an illness, but obviously he's okay to play right now. Aaron Boone signals for the right-hander. That'll do it for Hill. Faces 4 batters. Yankees lead by 4. Yes, family lost an important family member, Fred Handler, the father of Eric Handler, longtime vice president of communications at the Yes Network, passed away this week. He was a legend at St. Bonaventure, the head coach in baseball from 1959 to 1982. Turned it from a club sport to a varsity status. Handler Park is named in his honor, and our condolences go out to Eric and the entire Handler family with the loss of Fred. So Tim Hill taken out, Mark Leiter Jr. coming in, and he'll face Tommy Pham. Runner on first base, nobody out. Yankees up 8-4. 1-0. Saw Lawrence yesterday. He's warming up again. Off speed, drops that one in for a strike. Slow curveball.
Leiter Jr., his stuff just looks so much better to me this year. Made that one bad pitch against the Diamondbacks, but his stuff has looked a little bit crisper, a little more pop on the fastball.
Runner goes. Popped up. Who's up there? Hope he makes the play. Hayes had a scamper back to first. Put the brakes on right around second.
See, he gets a good jump. Then gets a look to see where the pop-up is. Anthony Volpe settles underneath it.
Can they turn 2? There's 1. And they double up Canario to get out of the 6th. No runs a hit. Nobody left on base. By Prevagen, made for your brain. I've got to be honest, John. I saw this before the game. I had countless clues, and I finally got it. This is really hard.
It's a 9.
A 9. It should be a 10. Boone got it.
He did.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten it without all those clues. And most Yankee fans will not remember him as a Yankee in '84. Justin Lawrence takes over as we go to the 7th. Ford scoreboard 8-4 Yankees. Shattered bat, ground ball. IKF turns it into an out.
We saw Lawrence in the first game of this series, a right-hander who drops down, gets really good movement into righties, and the sweeper away. That's right off the end of the bat. Easy play for IKF.
So here's Jazz Chisholm Jr., 0 for 2. Hit by pitch, stole a base and scored a run. One and 0.
It's been a steady diet of sliders and sweepers to Jazz this afternoon.
Fly ball into center field, Cruz back, and it's going to be over his head and up against the center field wall. And Chisholm gets himself a double. Really hit that one.
Again, off the bat, I didn't think it was going to carry this far. And take another look at the swing. Went down, really dug it off the ground away and drives it to center field. O'Neill Cruz did not get a good read on that at all. It was driven over his head.
There's Anthony Volpe, a bases clearing double, scoring 3 in the 5th inning. He has 12 ribbies in the early going inning, 290. Jazz takes off. He's going to third. Easy stolen base. They didn't even look at him. Second stolen base for Jazz Chisholm today.
Well, you start thinking about Jazz Chisholm, a full season in Yankee Stadium. Can he be a 30-30 guy? Well, if you don't pay attention to him at second base, that's an easy bag for him.
Infield in. Grounded to third. Hayes fields. He's coming home. They have him in a rundown. He'll get tagged out, and Volpe stays at first.
Jazz a little winded, stealing a bag, then trying to score on contact. Brian Hayes in on the grass, delivers the good throw home to Rodriguez, and then the rundown. You'd like to stay in it if you could to get Volpe to second, but the Pirates do a good job defending him.
He's out, and you scored 5-2-5. There's Austin Wells chasing Volpe back. Didn't have a big lead. Jazz is still out of wind.
It's a lot of running. I mean, it's a double, and then you steal third on the first pitch, and then Volpe puts it in play on the first pitch.
Two 2-0. Two 2-1. Wells 1 for 3, RBI single in the second. Yankees lead 8-4. 2-2. And the count 3-2 on Wells. So that's going to release Volpe at first. 3-2, 2 outs. We're in the 7th. Yankees 8 runs on 10 hits. Pirates 4 runs on 4 hits. Runner goes. Pitch outside. Wells works a walk. against Lawrence. So first and second. That'll bring up Dominguez. Dominguez is 1 for 3, doubled in the Yankees' 6-run fifth inning. Double steal, they smell it and they snuff it out. As Lawrence stepped off and fired to Hayes to get Volpe going to third. Yankees do not score, they leave one. In that fourth inning. I told you about Trent Grisham, 2 home runs for him, 4 ribbies. Daly faltered, he got knocked out in the 5th. Key Brian Hayes had a home run yesterday, he's 2 for 3 with an RBI double today. Fernando Cruz will come on for the Yanks.
We saw Cruz in yesterday's game, gave up the home run to Brian Hayes. Trying to get back on track here in the 7th inning.
He'll face Enmanuel Valdez. 1-0. Valdez with a 2-run double in the 4th inning against Stroman. 1 for 2. The other, a fly ball to center. Foul back.
Well, for Cruz, it's all about that split finger fastball. If he can get ahead in counts like he is here, 1 and 2, can bury that split, gets a lot of swings and misses.
Swing and a miss. That splitter is filthy.
There it is. The key, getting ahead 1 and 2, proving to your manager Aaron Boone, your pitching coach Matt Blake, that you can get ahead in counts and finish off hitters with that devastating splitter at 80 miles an hour.
It was Andy Rodriguez. RBI ground out in that 4th inning. Struck out looking in the 3rd. So he's 0 for 2. Ryan Barucki. Bounced past Wells. Interesting way to come to a game. Or maybe he's the sendoff. $30,570 here at PNC Park. Rodriguez is retired. 2 outs here in the 7th. And here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Grounded foul. Yankees Yankees trying to make it 3 in a row. The final game of the homestand yesterday, and they hold on today. That would be 3 straight. And they started the season winning 3 straight. One and one.
Well, you want to establish that mindset too about taking series, winning at least 2 out of 3, being a good road team this year. Best way to start this road trip, winning 2 in a row.
One and 2 on Connor Falefa. Grounds the splitter foul. You know, with Cruz's stuff, he could be such a weapon. And, you know, it's just consistency.
I say it all the time. At the beginning of the year, you're auditioning to what your role is going to be.
And innings like that catches the eye of the manager as he retires the Pirates in order.
Jersey Night is back for 2025. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 25th, when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. First 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees hockey jersey courtesy of DKNY. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. Top of the 8th, the Yankees lead this one 8-4. New pitcher for the Pirates, Ryan Borucki. His 5th game of the year, off to a good start. Left-handed pitcher out of that bullpen. Going to face 7, 8, 9 in the lineup for the Yankees: Dominguez, Peraza, and Grisham.
And the lefty deals to Dominguez. Fouled away. Dominguez was at the plate when Volpe and Wells tried a double steal, but Volpe was caught at third. And he's almost automatic when it comes to stealing third.
We've seen this early on in the year, a trend for opposing managers to deploy a lot of left-handed relievers against the Yankee lineup, thinking they have an advantage. I haven't seen it yet. Dominguez, the double against the lefty earlier.
We're in the 8th inning, game 2 of this 3-game set. Popped up, Valdez. And one away. Now here's the answer to that very difficult name that Yankee. Do you have any idea, John?
No idea. No idea.
It is Tim Foley.
Well-traveled Tim Foley.
Mm-hmm. Former #1 draft pick, too. Pitch to Peraza is outside. Yankees are 17-9 in the regular season against the Pirates. And 7-4 in 2 World Series. They swept the Pirates with Murderers Row in 1927. And then they lost a painful 7-game set to the Pirates in 1960. Bill Mazeroski's home run. And in talking to longtime Yankees at Old Timers Day, that was after Game 7 of 1960, John, was the only time they ever saw Mickey Mantle cry after a game. Because the Yankees just dominated the Pirates in that series in every offensive category, outscored them by so much, but they won that Game 7. And that was Casey Stengel's last game managing the Yanks. 3-2 on Peraza. Yarbrough and Weaver warming for the Yanks. Rip foul. Grounded sharply and past Hayes. Down the left field line. Peraza's going for two. He'll make it. Hayes is a elite defender, and that one got by him. Take a look at some highlights of Tim Foley. This is Tim as a Pirate.
Mets. And the new shortstop
He's part of the We Are Family Pirates.
Old school, running over the catcher.
Fancy fielding by Tim Foley prevented further damage.
That's a nice play.
Love those old Pirate hats.
Here's Trent Grisham. And he tries to bunt, bunts it right back to Barucki. 2 away, moving to third is Peraza. 16 big league seasons for Foley, first overall pick in the '68 draft by the Mets, and a champion with the Pirates. Played 61 games with the Yankees in 1984. And that's what got me, John. I didn't remember those 64 games, or 61. So here's Goldschmidt. Hit sharply and through for a base hit for Goldschmidt. Peraza will score. Goldschmidt is third hit of the game. And the Yankees lead 9-4.
Well, you just get the feeling when Goldschmidt is up at the plate against a left-handed pitcher, there's not a whole lot they have to get him out. Try to sink the ball away, and if you try to throw an off-speed pitch in, he's so quick. Pull it in between third and short. Literally no stride, just gets his foot down early, uses his hands. Nice piece of 2-out hitting.
And John, when you combine a lefty on the mound for the Pirates, you expect good things. Coming into this game in 133 games against Pittsburgh, Goldschmidt a .308 hitter, .407 on base percentage, .928 OPS, 23 homers, 80 ribbies, 93 runs scored. Slow roller, going to be a tough play for Barucki. Fields fires, and they get Rice for the final out. Yankees get a run on 2 hits with 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's time for the Optimum Don't Take Slow for an answer replay.
Well, we take a look back at Jazz Chisholm stealing second base. And later on in the 7th inning, he's going to take off stealing third. Right away, Anthony Volpe comes up with a chance to drive him in. First pitch swinging right to third base. Hayes to Rodriguez. Chisholm in a rundown. A lot of running there in the 7th inning. I'd be tired too.
Hyundai scoreboard. Yankees lead 9-4. Jazz looks like he has fun playing all the time. Ryan Yarbrough comes on. And he deals a strike. Strong inning for Cruz in the 7th. Triolo pinch hitting for Frazier. John, during the winter, I decided to, set up a little business where I opened some concession stands around the major league. So that's my one in Pittsburgh.
Why do you do that to yourself?
Because somebody will do it before.
Proactive?
Yes. Great place. And I think the picture looks just like me.
Grew a little mustache during the winter?
Yeah.
You took that one?
Two. Right in on the hands, foul back to the screen.
Yeah, that's what the veteran lefty does. He cuts it in on the hands of the righties and then slow it down with a little bigger breaking ball.
Three and two on the pinch hitter Triolo.
Let's see, Austin Wells behind the plate asking home plate umpire Chris Guccione, where'd you have that one? Just down and away. Wells getting used to the veteran Yarborough as well, trying to get some innings under the belt together.
Fouled away.
Hey, John, did you see this? We're talking about Austin Wells and his Instagram account. You just showed that picture. Kay has his own Instagram account. Kay Eats Tendies. First review coming your way tomorrow.
What about that picture?
Somebody made it. Michael has a chicken nugget.
Has a chicken finger?
Wow.
That's a 10 out of 10, whoever did that.
I'll take this one more. Strike three. Triolo down looking against Yarborough.
3 followers.
It'll go up now after Meredith just showed it. I'm not going to review tomorrow, Meredith. John and I already told us it was awful.
we got to do one for the account. You got to say that. You can try it again, and then there you go. Really give the people what they want, Michael. You're a man of the people.
I am very, very envious of Dave Portnoy because I was made to do that pizza review, but he did it before me, and now it's a big thing. You know the rules, one bite.
This could be huge. We'll come up with some rules.
This could be it.
This is your big shot, Michael.
You can't top pizza. That strikeout of Triolo, the 6th Yankee strikeout, brought to you by Audi and the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Yeah, and Yarborough doesn't do it with velocity. It's a lot of movement, cut, sink, change speeds. This perfectly located fastball in on the hands.
Foul back here.
And some more followers. It's happening.
What's the number, man?
You're almost at 2,000. Over 2,000.
Wow.
And climbing, rapidly climbing, Michael.
In the business, they say you're trending.
Look, he's just holding it. He doesn't even want to eat the second bite. 1-2. Down goes Reynolds for the second out. The upcoming schedule for the Yanks brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. One more game tomorrow, weather permitting, here in Pittsburgh, 1:35 start. Then on to Detroit. 3 night games, Monday and Tuesday on Yes, and then Wednesday's a prime vehicle. Thursday's an off day, a travel day, and then the Giants come to town. They'll play at Yankee Stadium Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here's O'Neal Cruz. And a strike. The 1-1. Nice off-speed breaking ball, 72 miles an hour. Cruz could not pull the trigger. 1-2.
Yeah, it's back and forth. It's 72. Then he'll dial it up to 86, 88. Just a veteran pitcher. Reads swings, reads hitters, what they're looking for. In a game that's high velocity, Yarbrough doing it old school.
Popped up. See if they have room. Oh. Cruz 1 for 2, a double, a walk, a run scored. Yarbrough trying to get through the 8th. Yankees lead by 5. Missed outside, 2-2. Bottom of the 8th inning. Game 2 of this 3-game set. The lefty deals. Strike 3. That's an impressive inning for Yarbrough. He strikes out the side, and we go to the 9th. Go buy something. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Untuckit. Find the perfect fit today at untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. And by your local Kia dealers, visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Some of the guys that we've seen through the years on the Pirates and the Yankees. Well, look at what Meredith has wrought. Look at this, John.
It's happening quick.
And now I'm going to be forced to eat chicken tenders in every ballpark.
Well, you sound like that's a problem.
Well, if what we got yesterday is what we're eating, yeah. Dennis Santana comes on, and Judge hits one to right field. That is going to be in there for a base hit. Dennis Santana is essentially the closer. 4 games so far, 2.70. Former Yankee. Triolo playing second base. Pinch hit for Frazier. Four-game hitting streak for Judge. Santana, 28 years old, 7th big league season. A Yankee last year, had a 6.26 ERA in 23 games and was designated for assignment in June. Drilled deep to right field. That ball is foul. A bullet off the bat of Chisholm.
But Jazz Chisholm has plenty of bat speed. He hits the ball as hard as anybody on a line to right field. Only question, fair or foul?
Body English did not work. Santana's middle name is Anthony. His dad is a huge basketball fan and named him after Dennis Rodman and Anthony Penny Hardaway. High fly ball. Center field. Cruz back. And on the track, he makes the play to retire Chisholm. Walt fans, after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. There's Anthony Volpe. He had the big blow for the Yankees in that 6-run 5th inning, bases loaded. And he doubled the left center to drive in 3. Line to right field. Canario cannot make the play. It's over his head and up against the wall. Judge will go to third. Volpe with a double. Volpe's showing a lot of power the other way.
Yeah, you just get the feeling that this might be the breakout year offensively for Anthony Volpe. The way he's driving the baseball all over the field. A slider down and away, right on time. Right off of the wall, be another double for Anthony Volpe. As Aaron Judge has to read it. Sees that it hits the wall, makes his way over to third base.
Pirates bring the infield in. Wells takes a strike. Second and third, one out. Yankees up 9-4. 1-1. RBI single for Wells in the second. Fly ball to left, ground ball to first, and a walk. One and two. Two and two.
These are the at-bats if you're Austin Wells, where you can just add on and take advantage of second and third. One out, put the ball in play. You look it down at the end of the year and you're up maybe 75, 85 RBIs.
Fly ball, left field. Pham makes the catch. Here comes Judge. And the throw is cut off. Sac fly for Wells. Yankees with their 10th run. It's 10-4.
It's just a professional at bat from Austin Wells, taking what you are given, a fly ball to left field. Pick up an RBI. You add on 10-4 Yanks.
They appealed at third base, thinking that Judge might have left early, but the third base umpire, Tom Hanahan, said no, he left on time. Runner at second now with two outs. Here's Jason Dominguez. And a strike. You might remember an at bat in the 8th inning. Peraza was on second with one out. The Yankees had 8 runs at that point. 8 runs. Grisham laid down a bunt. The official scorer here in Pittsburgh scored with a sac bunt. Now he just comes on, and through Major League Baseball's directive, it's just a bunt. He bunted for a hit. I mean, why would you think they'd have a sac bunt? Line drive. Oh, what a stab by Triolo. Took a base hit away from Dominguez to end the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 man left. Bottom of the 9th coming up.
Well, Anthony Volpe has a couple of doubles this afternoon, but he's also flashing that gold glove, going to the backhand, the strong throw across the diamond. This was a hot shot that he picked cleanly to start the double play. Easy flip over to Jazz. 6-4-3.
Yankees lead 10-4, 14 hits to the Pirates, 4 hits. Yarbrough will try to get the final 3 outs. He struck out the side in the 8th. Just a note, the run that Judge scored on the Wells sac fly was his 750th career run. And that ties Craig Nettles for 25th place on the franchise runs list. That's in 1,001 games. Foul back, 1-2.
Really a nice job by the Yankee bullpen in this one. Scoreless innings. Yarbrough trying to clean it up. Then you'll have a rested back end for tomorrow's finale.
I've got to get even with Meredith Marakovitz. Her little follow is now about 9,000 followers.
Well, why do you have to get even? You should be flattered that that many people want to follow you on Instagram. Your journey through the chicken tenders, the American and National League. It's just the beginning. Chicken tenders in Detroit might be frozen, but
3-2. Hayes is 2 for 3 today. Just missed as Hayes works a walk. Yankees up 10-4. Here's Tommy Pham and a strike from Yarbrough. Stroman started 1-4, then Hill, Leiter, Cruz, and now Yarbrough. Missed outside, 1-1.
well, tomorrow afternoon it'll be Will Warren getting his second start of the year, coming off a good first start.
Fly ball left field. Dominguez will make the play. And that brings up Alexander Canario. Hitless in 6 at-bats this year. He's 0 for 3 in this game. One on the Pirates right fielder. Jackknifes out of the way, 1-1. Swing and a miss. Changeup. This slow stuff really keeps you off balance.
You think he'd probably try to cut one in on his hands here after that changeup down and away.
And down he goes as Canario
Strikes out looking. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Joey Bart is going to pinch hit for Manuel Valdez. And a strike. Yankees are not away from winning their 3rd straight and picking up their 6th win of the year against 2 losses. Not holding on Hayes at first. And now a strike away. Count 0-2.
Yeah, 9 runs yesterday for the Yankees, 10 today. We talked about it in the open to our show, the production all the way 1 through 9. Very balanced, very powerful lineup.
And the 0-2. 1-2. Grounded foul. Ten runs on 14 hits. Yankees, 4 runs, 4 hits. Pirates. Bottom of the 9th inning. Runner on first base. 2 outs. Yarbrough trying to have 2 scoreless innings. Two and 2. Strike 3, that'll do it. The Yankees win 10-4. 5 strikeouts in 2 innings for Yarbrough. Yankee offense is alive and ticking. Big day for Trent Grisham, and they win their 3rd game in a row.
Yeah, you can talk about the lineup putting 10 on the board on 14 hits, but how about the Yankee bullpen picking up for Marcus Stroman, who only went 4 innings. The Yankee bullpen may be the story of the day, holding the Pirates to nothing. And Trent Grisham getting another start and rewarding his manager with plenty of power, a couple of home runs, and a lot of reasons to smile this afternoon.
Volpe impressive, so was Goldschmidt, as he had a big day. So everybody contributed, it seems, as the Yankees win 10-4. So much more to come. Awards to give out in the postgame after that. Yankees win 10-4. We take a look at the Cadillac drives of the game.
Well, there are a few of them from Trent Grisham. This in the 3rd inning. No doubt about it. To right field, his 2nd home run of the year. Then he followed it up in the 5th inning, a 3-run shot. Impressively going the other way that got the Yankees right back on the board after they'd given up the lead. Trent Grisham with your Cadillac drives of the game.
And we'll hear Trent Grisham with Meredith Marakovitz on the field during the postgame show. 10-14-0 Yanks. They go to 6-2. Pirates 4-4-0. Time of the game 2:44. Lighter the win, Falter the loss. Grisham had a big day. Falter lasted 4 innings. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the W.B. Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Mr. Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees wrap up the series against the Pirates. Coverage begins at 12:30 on Yes, with first pitch coming shortly after 1:30. Again, the final score of the New York Yankees 10, the Pittsburgh Pirates 4. For John Flaherty and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Michael K. saying see ya from PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now let's go to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, who are standing by in our Yes Network studios with the postgame show. Guys?
Hey everybody, it's great to have you with us on the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Yankees win the middle game of the series against the Pirates 10-4. 10 runs, Jack, on 14 hits. Every starter had a hit, and every guy that came out of the bullpen did a really nice job to help lock this thing down. Let's get your Hyundai opening comments.
To me, though, this was the Trent Grisham show, Bob, because you look at when Grisham came over to the Yankees, he was used to getting 500 plate appearances per season. He knew with the Yankees he was going to be in more of a reserve role, and that's what happened last year. This year, he's getting more playing time, and he's taking advantage of it. 2 home runs today. He has 3 home runs on the season through the first 8 games. Last year in the first 8 games, he didn't even have a hit. But you also have to talk about that Yankee bullpen. Stroman had a very rocky 4th inning, and the bullpen came in 4 different pitchers. They faced 16 Pirate batters. They allowed 1 base hit. So it was the offense that got things going. It was the bullpen that locked it down. Oh, Volpe also contributed a big 3-run double. So a lot of hitters up and down that lineup.
Yeah, Wells with a couple RBI, Paul Goldschmidt 3 hits. We'll dig into all that. But as you said, the spotlight on Trent Grisham today. He's our optimum player of the game. And I said this to you earlier, Jack, not an unlikely power source, but probably less likely given what we've seen. But he was locked in today.
He was. He's going to get a 2-0 fastball from Falter right here, and he beats Falter on this pitch. Falter's got that sneaky fast fastball, and we saw him getting some Yankees on that and curveballs, but not Grisham. He goes deep. It's 2-0 Yankees.
And then top of the 5th, Yanks trailing 4-2 and 2 on. How about this opposite field power?
Yeah, that was a really good at-bat by Grisham to go the opposite way for a 3-run blast. It's his 3rd career multi-home run game. That gave the Yankees a 5-4 lead on their way to the win.
So over his last 3 games, he's 6 for 11, 3 homers, 7 runs batted in. And right after the game, Meredith Marakovich talked to Trent Grisham on the field.
Trent, big day at the plate and really a great start offensively to your season. What do you think has allowed you to excel in the batter's box?
I've just been doing a really good job mentally to stay in the present. Yeah, I think that's really about it. Swing's been here and there throughout, but I've stayed really locked in mentally.
Can you describe what a day like today feels like when you're locked in like that, 2 home runs?
It feels good, just because when you don't feel at your best and you're still locked in mentally, and you still compete and go through the game, it means a lot going forward.
What did the offense show you today in general? A couple runs given up in that 4th inning, and you guys struck back right away there in the 5th.
Yeah, we just haven't quit as an offense this year, and that's kind of what's allowed us to blow these games open a little bit and just make it a little less stressful on the back end. So it's been nice to see out of an offense.
And what do you think of the work that the bullpen put in today? They had to get a lot of outs out of that pen.
Yeah, they did great. They've been great all year. I think it goes perfect with the offense, just giving us a chance later in games, keep getting those runs, keep adding on, and takes a little bit of pressure off those guys. And then when they take the pressure off of them, they've been doing their thing.
Trent, congratulations. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Send it back to you guys in the studio.
Meredith, thank you. We always talk about that next man up mentality. Grisham certainly has that. Bellinger out a couple days. He's doing just fine in there, staying present, as he said. Last year, Jack, 209 plate appearances for Grisham. That figures to jump up this year, right?
Yeah, and it was an inconsistent, sporadic season for him because of that lack of playing time. And sometimes we go to spring training searching for answers, right, Bob? And you ask Aaron Boone, who's going to be your 3rd baseman? Who's going to be your leadoff hitter? Consistently this spring, Boone said, I'm going to get Trent Grisham more at-bats this season. And so far, that's exactly what Boone has done. We've seen Grisham produce. The Yankees, when Soto departed and went to the Mets, they talked about how they were going to win games differently this year. Then Stanton goes down, and you say to yourself, where's the offense going to come from? Well, we're seeing it's coming from many different areas. Goldschmidt has contributed. Bellinger's been down the last 2, but he's contributed. Volpe has been strong. And now someone like Trent Grisham, who might have been lower down on that list of people that you expected to contribute, he's been a big producer.
We mentioned how everybody kind of had it hand in this one with all the starters getting hits. That led to a big 5th inning. We take a look at the highlights brought to you by your local Ford stores. So let's detail that 5th inning, Jack. Jason Dominguez leading things off, and he's another guy looking for those consistent at-bats and consistent quality at-bats.
And from the right side, and that's what he's going to do right here. He's going to take this sinker from Falter down the right field line. Takes a funky bounce off the wall. Canario's going to hustle in to field it. It's a leadoff double for the Martian.
And then Oswald Peraza getting a start today. Up next, 2-2 count. And he's going to smoke a curveball on the ground to the left side. It's going to sneak through. Dominguez had to hold up, so he gets to third, but it's runners at the corners now for Grisham.
Yeah, we're going to see him work this count against Falter. Left on left, it's a 2-2 count, and just look at the way he goes the other way with that four-seam fastball, Bob. Almost made it look easy, and he was one person in the ballpark who absolutely knew this was gone. Third homer, last 3 games, 3-run shot, makes it 5-4.
And here's the deal. They retake the lead, but then they don't let up. They were relentless in this inning. Goldschmidt looks at ball 4, 5-pitch walk. Ben Rice comes up next. Finds a hole on the outside sinker, so Yanks keeping the line moving. They've got no outs, and Judge coming up.
Yeah, this is a dangerous spot for any pitcher, and what does Holderman do? He hits Judge with the first pitch, so now the Yankees have the bases loaded.
And that brings us to our turning point of the game, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And you mentioned the impact that Anthony Volpe had, that one coming in this inning.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Volpe swinging that torpedo bat this year, showing a lot of power. And I thought John Flaherty did a great job describing how this might not have been Volpe's A swing, but he still went out there and got that cutter, drove it a long way, a 3-run double. You see Volpe at second base celebrating. All of the Yankees are celebrating after that terrific at-bat from the shortstop.
So again, the Yankees, everybody getting a hit. You see multi-hit games from Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Volpe, Oswald Peraza, and Trent Grisham. Grisham, his 7th career game with 4 or more runs batted in. But much like last night, we talked about 6 through 9, bottom of the order coming through again.
Yeah, you have Trent Grisham in the 9-hole with 2 home runs and 4 runs batted in today. And I said this yesterday, Bob, about the Yankees going up against the Pirates. We know that on any given day, one baseball team can beat another. We also know that you had better beat the teams you're supposed to beat. The Yankees are better than the Pirates. It's early in the season, but it's clear that one team is going in one direction and one team is going in another direction. So even after Stroman had that rocky 4th inning where he couldn't find the plate, and then when he did try to find the plate, the Pirates hitters took advantage of some first pitches and counts. The Yankee offense came back strong, smacked the Pirates down again, and then the bullpen did the rest.
All right, we're going to take our first break here on the WB Mason postgame. A lot more coming up. We'll hear from Aaron Boone right after this. His guys already win the series, winning at 9-4 last night and 10-4 today. Stick around.
Game show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Well, we mentioned the bullpen getting the job done today, covering 5 innings to get this 10-4 win over the Pirates. Tim Hill was the only guy that allowed a hit, but he didn't allow a run, nor did Mark Leiter Jr., Fernando Cruz, and Ryan Yarbrough. 5 complete innings, just 1 hit and 7 strikeouts. So a lot of really, we talk about quality of bats, quality pitching against some of those bats.
And a couple of things stand out for me about that graphic. First of all, Leiter getting 3 outs and only 5 pitches. Talked to him during spring training about his stuff. He felt he was coming into this season very strong. Flaherty, John Flaherty, our guy, pointed out during the broadcast the velocity is up for Leiter Jr. and the splitter is doing what it should do. Fernando Cruz, very, very difficult at bat. Stealth move by the Yankees to add him. His splitter is nasty. And Bob, we showed that graphic, and guess what I think of when I see that graphic? No Loaizaga, no Hamilton, no Cousins. There are more relievers to come. So the Yankees right now have a strong bullpen. It's going to get stronger.
And no need to go to Luke Weaver or Devin Williams because Ryan Yarbrough doing a nice job covering 2 innings and getting 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, Yarbrough's last outing, he got roughed up a little bit. So I'm sure for him it was a good feeling to get back out there because he's a better pitcher than he showed in that 1 outing. To come back out today, he gave up the grand slam in that outing. To come back out today with that swing and miss stuff, he'll be another asset for that bullpen.
All right, let's hear from Aaron Boone now in the manager's report brought to you by Toyota.
What do you think of the day that Trent Grisham had?
Yeah, impressive. used line to line. Big homer, get us going there, and then obviously a big three-run homer the other way. And just more really good swings, playing great in center, and excited for him and just how well he's playing, how big he's been for us here early.
He told me on the field this offense just doesn't quit. You saw that in the 5th inning. How would you describe what you've been seeing from the offense to start the season?
Yeah, it's that. It's been relentless. They just start, really taking tough at bats, and for the most part, we're scoring a lot, and a lot of guys are swinging the bat well. Again, it's not always that though, right? You're gonna have nights when you get shut down a little bit, but I feel like there's been a real consistency to their approach, and it's been fun to see how everyone has really chipped into this, because they're playing at a really high level right now.
What really caused Stroman to stall there in that 4th inning?
I think just, in and around the strike zone, he's always on the edges there, and, a couple walks hurt him there, and they got to him a little bit. And then it got to be pretty long inning there, over 30 pitches. But I think just when he's got to live on the edges there, and they were patient with him, and did a good job of laying off and taking the pitches they needed to that were close. Created some traffic, and then a couple big hits.
We talked about what you saw with Trent's swing this spring. What has really stood out to you that has gotten results here?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he kind of embodies, what we try to do, and that's, swinging the good pitches and being patient, but also having an aggression in there, and that doesn't mean not swinging at the first pitch. He does a good job of controlling the zone naturally. Like he's can be a little passive. I think he's been doing a really good job of being aggressive, and when he's getting a pitch, he's stinging it. But it's kind of what I've seen from him. There just was a good look to him. I felt like early in spring training, I just felt like the way he was moving, his at-bats, his BPs have been really, really strong. I feel like his swing's in a good place right now, and he's playing with a lot of confidence.
How much credit do you give to the bullpen today, Aaron?
Yeah, excellent. And then, to be able to add on there, and those little things that, allow you today then to stay away from Weave, stay away from Williams. That's where, that really good offense and adding insurance here pays off, and then Yarbrough goes out and does a really good job and does his job to protect the back end there. So they were excellent. 4 of them today. A lot of big outs.
Colby kind of broken open there with the 3-run double.
Yeah.
What have you seen from at bats lately?
I mean, more of the same with all these guys. They're swinging really well right now, and I've seen that since spring training with Anthony. I just think he's turned into a really, really good all-around player, and his swing's in a good place. He punches out the first 2, but they're real competitive at bats. He gets to 2 strikes in that last one, and even though he's off timing a little bit, his swing's in such a good place that he's still got some power behind it. Drives the ball the other way the next time up, so he's just playing really well. Was outstanding in the field today. I mean, that ball Reynolds hit, the double play. I mean, I don't know what that thing was smoked to turn that double play. That's one of those big plays in the game right there where, it's a little game changer right there if we don't make that play.
You mentioned Multi in the field. Have you, even considering that he won Gold Glove his rookie year, have you seen an incremental improvement in that area of his game as well?
I don't know. He was so good right away. Because I just remember being very floored by how good he was at shortstop his rookie year. So I don't know if, I know he works hard to get better, but he was great right away. And that was a little surprising to me because there were those questions about will he stay at short? Does he have to move to second? He put that to bed pretty early in my eyes in spring training and then early into the season, and the defense has been stellar since.
Clark made 30 start. All good.
I heard it went well, yeah.
3 hits for Gold Goldschmidt today as well. Do you like where he's at?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I feel like these guys complement each other, too. We talk about different looks sometimes in a bullpen. Like, I feel like our hitters kind of give you different looks, too. And, he's kind of settling in. Everyone's kind of doing their thing right now and playing a role, and he was a good tone setter today at the top.
A lot of guys that Aaron Boone could single out and talk about. Certainly Trent Grisham, a big one. But, Jack, it's interesting. We're 8 games in, and we've already seen some different lineups, right? A couple days ago, Wells and Goldschmidt just got days off. Meantime, Bellinger's a little dinged up with his back, so he's out for a couple. But everybody's really pulling their weight, whoever's in there.
You want a lineup that has some length to it. And whenever you hear Aaron Boone talk about his lineup, we know how much he wants to have balance in that lineup, Bob. He wants to go left, right, left, right, left, right whenever he can. Well, in order to have that balance and in order to have that length, you need contributions from the bottom of the lineup. We talked about yesterday how the 6, 7, 8, 9 batters reached base in 14 of 20 plate appearances. Well, tonight, the 7, 8, and 9 batters in Peraza, Dominguez, and Grisham, they combined for 5 hits, 5 runs scored, 4 runs batted in. So on those days where your heavy hitters might not do as much, when you can get those contributions from the lower third of your lineup, that's the kind of offense that you want to be. A lot of questions about what the Yankee offense was going to be heading into the 25 season, and so far we've seen contributions from so many different sources.
Yeah, no doubt. 10 runs today. That's a pitcher's delight, and Yankees needed a lot of those runs because Marcus Stroman was struggling in this one. We'll take a break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Stroman, who lasted just 4 innings, gave up 4 runs. Stroman is coming up next.
Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Good to have you back. Let's get to our pitching decisions presented by Sage. Marcus Stroman making his 2nd start of the year. Jack, we talk about it all the time. He's got to be so fine on the edges, and when he is on, that could be a good thing. When he's a little off, that could be a bad thing.
Yeah, really crisp start for him at the beginning of the game. Gets Sawinski right there on the slurve in the 2nd inning. Bottom of the 3rd, 4-seam fastball gets Endy Rodriguez. Bottom of the 4th, Brian Reynolds is going to walk on that cutter, 3-2 pitch. O'Neal Cruz is up at the plate. It's going to be another walk. And this is where Stroman is digging a hole for himself. And how are you going to get out of it? Well, you're not. That's the first pitch of the at-bat. Brian Hayes rips that sinker into left field. 1 run scores, so the Pirates trail 2-1. Now, he didn't really want to come in and throw a strike to Sawinski, the left-handed batter. A couple batters later, Valdez makes him pay, hits one off the right field wall for a double. A couple score. That put Pittsburgh up 3-2. They added another run off Stroman in that inning and went ahead 4-2.
So he allowed just 3 hits, but it took him 74 pitches just to get through 4. So 4 2/3 against Milwaukee, in which he allowed 3 runs. Today, 4 runs over 4 innings. Let's hear from Stroman about his performance.
Marcus, you pretty much cruised through those first 3 innings. What did you feel like was working for you early on there?
I felt pretty good overall. I think I just got into some deep counts in that 4th and walked a few guys. That was really it. And then they swung at 2 first pitches. That was really it. That was the damage, I felt pretty good overall. Just can't put 3 guys on base.
Did you feel like they changed their approach at all in the 4th?
No, like I said, I 2 free walks, 3 free walks. I think that's really it.
What do you think of what this offense then was able to do to pick you up a little bit immediately there in that 5th inning?
Yeah, no, this offense has been incredible, even since, the time that I've been here. It's amazing to watch each and every day. You truly feel like you're never out of a game. So, incredible offense on display so far, and definitely looking forward to seeing those guys swinging it.
I think Trent adds to this team.
I mean, Trent's incredible. Trent's an everyday player. So I think people forget that he's an incredible everyday player. But you don't see him in that light right now. But, yeah, you put him anywhere else. He's a guy who can, I don't even know, he's a guy who can probably hit 30, bags. He's going to give you plus defense, and he's a pleasure to be around. So he's an incredible player, incredible human.
You get to be an everyday guy last year. Just how valuable do you think that is for a hitter playing every single day?
Yeah, I think it's needed. I think it's almost impossible to really, truly be your best if you're not consistently getting every day at-bats or reps. Like what he's doing now is incredible. Because, yeah, it's timing, it's reps, it's kind of those things. You can ask any hitter. The more that they're playing, usually the better they feel. So the things that he's done, being able to come off the bench, it's incredibly hard to do.
A guy that does it with a lot of flair. Like, how would you describe him as a teammate? What he's like?
Krish?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's like the black cowboy, we call him. You know, he's just like always chill, always calm. You know, he's just truly the same. Some people say they're the same guy every day, but he truly is the same guy each and every day. You know, like I said, it's humble human being to be around, and pleasure being here.
Marcus, people around this organization, after you guys lost Soto and then the additions that you made, talked about how 1 through 9 this lineup could actually be deeper than it was last year.
Yeah.
As a pitcher, what do you see in this lineup 1 through 9 when people in the organization have talked about that depth?
Yeah, I think you see the depth. I think it's incredibly hard to navigate. Obviously, having Goldie and Belly in there is huge. 2 veterans who are going to give you quality ABs each and every time, and then obviously with the power potential from 1 through 9, it's scary. It's a hard lineup to navigate, and we're confident. So just looking forward to getting back out there and competing with the guys.
And they put a lot of runs on the board for Marcus Stroman. And let's talk about what happened in that 4th inning. When you go walk, after really kind of locking it in for those first 3, he's got to find a way to break through that barrier.
Yeah, before that 4th inning, he had retired 7 in a row. And Marcus Stroman is a savvy veteran. This was his 263rd game of his career. So he knows that if you walk a couple of batters to start off an inning, you are putting yourself in a potentially perilous position. After the walks, what do you want to do as a pitcher, Bob? You want to get ahead in the count. First pitch, Hayes hits a double. Later, he had another situation after a walk where Valdez, a young hitter, again, he's thinking, I got to get ahead of him. Again, first pitch, hit for a double. So everything went awry for him in that 4th inning, but the Yankee offense and the Yankee bullpen made sure they were able to turn things around, and the Yankees still able to get this win.
Well, we'll take a break, but we got more coming up. More on the offense. Again, a big day for the Yanks. 10 runs, 14 hits. Trey Grisham with 2 homers and 4 runs batted in. Stick around. More coming up on the WB Mason postgame.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Memorable moments presented by Prevagen, the #1 pharmacist recommended memory support brand. And it's been a memorable 2 games so far in Pittsburgh. In 8 total games, the Yankees' 9-run average is first in the majors, as are their 25 home runs and their team 10-12 OPS. And it's always good to be reminded, and Eric Boland did that with Marcus Stroman, about Juan Soto departs. So how do you pivot for the Yankees? You go find really quality professional hitters in Goldschmidt and Bellinger. You mentioned that. And then you rely on some of the youngsters that you really believe in, the Wells, Volpes, and Dominguezes of the world, and everybody to a man. And then you still got Grisham and Chisholm from last year, and they're getting the job done too.
That's why you have to wait for the entire offseason to unfold. Then you have to wait for games, meaningful games to be played, because in the moment where Soto signed with the Mets, there was dreariness in Yankee universe. They were willing to give him $750 million. He wanted to go to the Mets. But credit to the Yankees, Bob, with how they did pivot. Bellinger became a must, and they added him. They got Goldschmidt on a 1-year deal, and you watch him play on both sides of the ball, and you know how much of a steal that is. But they also understood that they had young players coming up that they could expect more from, and that is Volpe and Wells and also Dominguez, who I think his swing looks really good. Grisham has been more of a contributor. And now you look up and down that lineup and you see offense coming from so many different places. Yes, it's 8 games. There's a lot of baseball left to be played. But the Yankees right now are playing like an offensive team that can be ferocious against any pitcher.
We got to take another break, but stick around. More on the offense, more with Anthony Volpe and the day that he had. Playing some good D and swinging that torpedo bat with great results. Volpe's coming up next.
Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
Well, you can talk about the power, the exit velo, the bat speed of Anthony Volpe, whatever you want to talk about, Jack. He's really making good contact, resulted in a couple doubles today.
Yeah, we see a cutter here that he's able to drive to center field, and this really gave the Yankees a lot of breathing room. They had rallied back to take a 5-4 lead. That 3-run double boosted the lead to 8-4, kept his bat in the zone against that cutter, Bob, and drives it deep to center field.
And then steps up again in the 9th inning, man on first, 1 out, and opposite ways, using all the field.
Just hitting the baseball with authority. You mentioned the bat speed. I do think that is a big part of what is going on right now with Volpe. Started swinging the bat a lot harder in the postseason. He has carried that into this season. Those are the results so far. He has made swing adjustments throughout his career. Last year, it was about a somewhat flatter swing and keeping the bat in the zone more. This year, he's swinging at the ball more robustly.
And could we just sort of generally categorize, for example, the way he's swinging the bat, the way Ben Rice looks and feels at the plate, just that confidence of knowing and reminding yourself, I belong here. I know I can hit any major league pitcher that's out there.
Right. The more you do something, the better you should get at it. So Anthony Volpe has 2 full seasons under his belt at the major league level. He knows what pitchers are trying to do to him. He knows how he has to counter them. And I think with Ben Rice last year, Bobby did have a splurge where when he came up, he had the 3-homer game. But then there were a lot of lessons he had to learn from an offensive perspective. And when you talk about going into the offseason with some homework, Ben Rice went into the offseason, added some weight, added some muscle, and now came back and is just a more confident hitter. And as we said before today's game, was tied for the major league lead in exit velocity, hitting the baseball at 100 miles an hour, tied with Suarez of the Diamondbacks. So that shows you the elite level that he had lifted himself.
We also came into this season saying Jason Dominguez, as you said, had to have some run. Let him get out there and swing the bat. That's what he's been doing, too. Off to a good start. In 8 games so far this season, batting .276, 3 doubles, 3 runs batted in, and 6 runs. He went 1 for 5 today. Let's hear from the Martian in our Genesis sounds of the game.
Just how do you describe what this offense is doing right now?
I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. Everyone is contributing to the thing. Everyone is hitting. It's really incredible.
What's it like to be a part of an offense like this?
I mean, like I said before, like being part of it, like see everyone doing his thing is pretty amazing.
What stood out to you about Trent Grisham and what he's been able to do to start the season?
I mean, he's been unbelievable. He's getting the most of the opportunity, and I'm very glad to see that.
Aaron Boone said he's been very happy with your defense so far. How do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good. I mean, personally, I think I make some improvement.
How much of a test is that left field? It's a little kind of wonky out there.
What do wonky means?
It's like a weird dimension.
I don't know, you know, like every field is different, but I mean, you can get used to it.
Added a new word to the vocab, wonky. That's a good one. We got to take a break. Will Warren does not want to be wonky. He wants to be really good in the series finale, and Jack and I will talk about him coming up next. Who likes chicken tenders? And during the game, when we found out he did not like the ones at PNC Park, Jack, Meredith created the K Eats Tendies. Now he's going to rate them from every ballpark he goes to.
So does he buy a new bucket of tenders tomorrow and giving them a second shot, or does the review come off yesterday's not so good
I mean, you go
experience?
from 0 to 11,000 followers. You better give the people what they want, right?
I think you have to have a fresh look at the tenders, or a fresh taste of the tenders.
If you get a chance, ask him, maybe direct message him, what do you like to put on your chicken tenders? What do you dip them in? Because we know Michael, no condiments allowed. It would probably blow his mind if you asked that. All right, speaking of blowing our minds, Yes Press. What are the boys in the back? What did they cook up with you today?
Well, the boys in the back brought the 18-wheeler around, Bob, because today's headline is 10-4, good buddy.
Oh, that's nice.
Trent trounces Pirates.
I like that.
Short and sweet.
He's from Texas, kind of a southern good. 10-4, good buddy.
I had a CB radio back when I was a kid, so I was channeling my youth when my handle was Dead Duck. Don't ask me why, but that's what I went with. So a little 10-4, good buddy for you.
All right, I like that. I was thinking maybe a big dish of grish. That could have been a possibility. That might be the sub-headline.
You could have told me that during commercial.
I will never influence your decisions. You have impeccable decision-making. Let's take a look at the pitching probables for Sunday, courtesy of Nissan. We mentioned this. Will Warren going to be taking the ball for the Yanks against former Yankee and well-traveled lefty Andrew Heaney. For Warren, what are you looking for in his next start?
I think it's just continued improvement. He pitched well against the Diamondbacks in his last outing. Only gave up one hit. It was a home run by Corbin Carroll. But we saw that aggressiveness, Bob, and we also saw that he can go up there and he can get some lefties out. He's got that sinker that'll swing back from inside and come over the plate. He's got the changeup that he has refined. So Will Warren is a major league pitcher, and he's trying to remind the Yankees that he can go out there and do it consistently. We gave the update on Clark Schmidt earlier in our broadcast. Schmidt is coming back. It's probably 10 or 11 days before he will have to be inserted into rotation. Warren is obviously someone who is susceptible to losing his spot. He can't think about that right now. His mission, stop the Pirates tomorrow. Let that Yankee offense do its job, get a sweep.
And if all of that happens, they would get the sweep before they head to Detroit on Monday. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us. Join Dead Duck and me tomorrow for our pregame coverage. Batting practice show prior to that at 12:30. Dead Duck and Bob at 1. First pitch a little after 1:30. Thanks for joining us all night long. Yankees win it 10-4. We'll see you Sunday.